Test, test, test. What it do, chat? What it do? What it do? Good morning, good evening, good whatever. Hello. There we go. How's it going, y'all? Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's it going, y'all? Thank you, Georgia. Politics, politics, politics. Kamala Mamdani, Andy Bashir, Pete Buttigieg. How's it going, y'all? If you're a Trump supporter, we are looking for debates. If you want to tell me why you are conservative, hop into the box. How'd we earn the nanner? Somebody on my my Google phone came through with a good old-fashioned slur. Just a good old-fashioned. So the China visit was a total failure as expected. I haven't heard anything breaking coming out of that. I'm assuming Trump was basically forced to see how awesome China was and for him to stop talking cash shit about China. Yeah, bullying harassment. So somebody came through with a slur and that's bullying harassment. It's really weird that Trump was asked multiple times about Taiwan, and he was just strangely quiet. To ask a lot of questions in front of Xi Jinping and just was quiet. Yeah. Trump told President Xi Chinese restaurants in America are making more money than fast food chains. Was that like a gotcha? It's weird. It would be great for them to broker a deal to sell BYDs here. I know, dude. Get a meltdown over not having a ballroom because they have a ballroom. Well, they can afford a ballroom. We can't. Somebody on YouTube yesterday, if you want me to check on that thing. Oh, thank you so much. Let's see. D, send me a message with your Google or your email address, because that's how I have to do that. Chat, we're looking to do political debates. If you want to debate, hop into the box. Come tell me why you like Trump. Why is your brain not good? Yeah, send it to me on Discord. Thank y'all for the gifts. Thank you so much, guys. Can we get some shares and some likes on the screen? We just started. The more and the earlier we ramp it up, the better for the algo. Oop, gotcha. You have the best brain, DP. Not quite. Here's MAGA brain. Here's my brain. Like maybe right here. Some MAGA brains are all the way down here. But MAGA brain, my brain. Am I a Subnautica fan? Somebody else brought that up to me. The game. He truth said that Xi said America's in decline, but that meant Xi, yeah, Xi during Biden. I saw that. I'm sure Trump was like, ooh. And then when he said Biden, he was like, yeah, yeah, thank you. You said the magic word. Trump is so easily like manipulated. What's up, Sav? Caffeinated Sloth, thank you for the heart. Even Trump can't defend Trump without bringing up Biden. It's just weird how he can't really like point to COVID as the source of a lot of like economic pain. It has to be Biden. It has to be Biden. But we don't know what Biden did that hurt us. But it definitely wasn't COVID. What's up, Marika? He sent children to Greenwood the airport. Yeah. Is Bill Clinton in jail yet? Trump's not arresting anybody in the Epstein files. So probably not. Those children are controlled by the government. What the fuck? Speaking of which, 36 Republicans, never forget, voted against making child marriage illegal. Never forget. You like this hat, chat? Look, it says savage. Because that's me. Is Biden in the files? We'll never know. Trump won't release them. But no, he's not. Oh, yeah. Chat, why are y'all defending somebody who won't release or prosecute anybody in the Epstein files? Child marriage is legal in Iran, by the way. It's legal here as well at the same exact age. Or at least as low as 16. Minimum age is 13 for females, 15 for males. Let's see what it is in the United States. 15. Yeah. You guys pick the silliest fights. Check out projectsaveamerica.info to help legally remove Trump administration. That is a good. That is a good. Projectsaveamerica.info. Oop, I need to turn the phone line on. Phone line is on. If you want to debate, you're welcome to call this number as well. Project Save America needs a web designer real bad. Scripts? Yo, go if you own that domain, go to Claude, CLAUDE. Tell it to make you a website. Tell it to tell you how. Make you a beautiful website. If you could tell the average American the best way to research a candidate is how would that be? I know that Blue Vote Guide was a good one. Blue Voter Guide. BlueVoterGuide.org is really good. This is what it looks like. If you don't want to be tricked into voting for some MAGA idiot who's posing as Democrat, look at their endorsements, look at the things that they are their policies. So this guy would be for like pew pew legislation. He's pro LGBTQ, women's rights. Yeah, this is a nice place to look it up. I would also check to make sure they're not backed by Israel, because they are getting a hold of everybody. Hello.
Pickles, you okay, bro?
Yeah, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. You look sick, dude.
I just woke up.
I mean like your health. You look sick.
How so?
I don't know, man. Like, do you have cancer or something, dude?
No.
You look like a cancer patient. You know that, right?
I think it's pretty demeaning.
I mean, I'm sorry, but like, you look emaciated.
Have you seen Trump?
What's that?
Have you seen Trump?
Yeah, but Trump is old and dying.
Kind of like you guys are crying about buying for Biden for the last 4 years?
I mean, I don't really care. I didn't vote for Trump, dude.
No?
Not at all.
That's good to know.
I didn't vote at all. Candidates are garbage.
Oh, okay.
But no, seriously, like, are you sick, man?
No. I'm in great shape. 210 pounds, 6'4".
I don't know, man. You look a little emaciated, bro.
Can jump over most plastic chairs.
You look unhealthy as hell, bro.
Tip top.
Take your hat off for a second, man. Let me see.
I'm good.
You going through chemo, man? Be honest.
No.
Well, I wish it about the help, man. I was worried.
Would you vote for universal healthcare, single payer healthcare system?
Yeah, of course.
That's good. All right, man. Thanks for coming up.
Get better soon, dude.
Thank you. It's my TDS flaring up, y'all. That's what it is. Chat, tap the screen. We still haven't hit 10K likes. If you wanted to debate, hop in the box. Come tell me why you like Trump. It's the Zen false. The Zen gives me life. DP doesn't sleep. False. I just slept, I think, 11 hours, which is the perfect amount. Too much playing Castlevania. Dude, Symphony of the Night is still goated. I wouldn't mind playing that again really quick. Thank you, Nicole, for the 400 minutes watching my live. Much love. Y'all, we are almost at 10K likes. Y'all are not tapping. You're being selfish. I'm just kidding. Y'all are tapping. Thank you. We're almost there yet. We're almost there. Forgive me for absent. I need that shirt. I need that shirt real bad. Heather with 300 minutes. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, Heath, not Heather. I'm still waking up. I'm sorry, Heath. Does he suck at being the greatest president in history or something else? He definitely sucks at being the greatest president in history. I think he's ranked like dead last or second to dead last. When's the last time I got a physical? Dude, I just peed in a dirty little cup last week. Got my test results back. We are as healthy as an ox. No infectious diseases. Nothing of the sort. I just peed in a cup and they sent me it back and said, "Did you study for this?" And I said, "No. I just peed like I usually do." How's my aim? Not great. They said, "Sir, this is quite frankly the most beautiful piss I've ever tasted." That's what they said. Chad, if you do not think Trump sucks, hop in the box. Come tell me why you don't think Trump is the biggest floppy donkey wiener in American politics. Sprint Tower, make it go everywhere. Just me? Oh, dude. You're a brave man. Do I like anything this administration's doing? They just did like an EO for psilocybin for studying shrooms. I think that was fine. It was good. But on the other hand, they just strong armed the FDA in approving flavored nicotine vapes. Flavored nicotine vapes in suntan beds for children. So, nah. They just allowed Roundup to be sprayed up on all of our foods, even though it's been linked to cancer. Yeah. Yeah. What do I think about the borders being secured? When Trump leaves office, everything that he's done is just thrown out the window. He has passed no laws in regards to the border. It will be something you guys cry about in another 4 years. I promise. They're not secured. They are shut down. Nobody wants to come to the United States, not even for tourism. He has fucked up this world's economy. Nobody wants to go to the United States, same way nobody wants to go to Iran right now. We are the biggest threat to world peace according to multiple polls. I promise you, Democrats will not win the next election. Guys, y'all won by 1.7%, and I can't even get one of y'all to come up to debate. Like, in the last 2 months, so many people have been turned off by Trump that they can't come up here and defend him. I don't see this going well for y'all. I'm working. Nobody will come up here and defend Trump. They can't because they don't want to just get completely fucking emaciated. They don't want to get completely just eviscerated. There's nothing you can say.
You
Yeah.
begged me, Pickles.
Hi, Cecil.
Do you see they rolled out the red carpet for Trump in China?
Is that really your takeaway from that?
Well, he got a great reception. I mean, it was awesome. Plus, all those business leaders he brought over there.
We did the same thing to Putin. Does that mean we love Putin?
I don't know. I know you guys love the Chinese, though, until you don't. You got what was that lady that was in Congress forever? Dianne Feinstein. Turns out she had a Chinese spy as her limo driver for like 8 years or something like that. Of course, we all know about Eric Swalwell. Tim Walz got married in China. He's visited 6 times. Says it's a terrific place.
I
I'm
feel
just
like
wondering why you guys.
it's a weird double standard y'all have. Do you guys ever realize that Israel is like all the way in? They are all the way into our politics. They need to be registered as a foreign agent immediately. They're all
Yeah,
the way in, and you guys don't care. You're just blind to that part.
that's kind of like a urban legend. I mean, they've been saying Israel runs Hollywood and the press and the media.
No, you're
They've been
talking
saying
about
that for a
Jewish people.
long time.
That's anti-Semitic BS. What I'm talking about
Oh,
is how many people are endorsed by APAC and other various PACs that spend money to make these people vote a certain way, to push certain legislation, to pay Israel's bills and shit. Nobody's done that for China. You guys are cucks for it though.
um, let me ask you, the Israel. Have you ever seen how tiny it is on the map over there? Why don't you guys support the only democracy in the Middle East? Everybody else over there, they don't allow you to dance or sing or be happy. If you leave the religion, you get killed.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
you got
Spouting
democracy.
off Israel propaganda.
I heard it straight
Love
from
that.
a Arab's mouth. I mean, it's called the apostasy. Apostasy. You've never heard about it? You're not allowed to leave the certain religions. I'm not even going to name the religion, but there's certain religions over there, and I think you know what I'm talking about, where you're an apostate if you leave the religion, and you may get stoned to death depending on where you live. Right? I mean, you'll agree with that, right?
I mean, sure, that sounds bad. That sounds real bad. They have the same
Uh,
thing with the Church of Scientology here, right?
oh yeah. Hey, I'm with you, dude. I don't like religion. I was watching TV the other night, and you remember that Jeff the Warren Jeffs, I think his name was the cult leader over there that had like a bunch of underage wives and stuff. They're Mormons.
Mm-hmm. The Momos.
Yeah, the Momos. Their leader went to jail. Everybody saw that. I saw another guy who took his place, got pulled over. I was watching a YouTube video. He was hauling a trailer. He had like 6 women, not even women. They were teenage girls dressed up with their stupid dresses that go all the way up to their neck, and they're getting hauled around in this trailer, and of course the police pulls them over and all this, and yeah, it's a religious cult, Mormons, and they thought it was perfectly legal to do what they were doing, and he was trying to marry all of them, and he got arrested and everything. So yeah, but the point I'm making is some religions are better than others, just like some cultures are better than others, right? like for instance, you could go on all day about what you like about Christianity. You'll never say one word about that other religion that we're alluding to
Yeah, because they're a minority
because you
group,
have no principles. No, I've heard that argument before. What if they became a majority, and they are a majority in other places of the world?
but not
You
here.
support that? It's
So
just a double standard
it's
on
not a
your
double
part, big
standard. So
time.
like Christians are here writing legislation, oppressing people here. I can talk all the shit I want about them and call them sky daddy believers and weirdos and creeps and they believe in
Wasn't Joe
magic.
Biden a Sky Daddy believer? He was a Catholic Sky Daddy believer, wasn't he?
Yeah, and they're doing their best to try to convince y'all that he was doing nothing but trying to attack Christianity during his administration. Have you seen that propaganda yet?
Yeah, I've seen it. I never really believed it. I don't think he's a religious person, honestly. He claims to be a Catholic. I think,
He goes to church every Sunday.
all right, well, he's a Sky Daddy, so that kind of Sky Daddy is okay.
Yeah, but
You,
he's not trying to
you,
force it on us like Trump.
what's he trying to force on us? Project 25. So, what has come true out of Project 25 so far? Is there anything?
60% of it's done.
Okay. Can people still go? I don't know. Can people still go on the internet and get pornography? Because I know they were going to try to stop that.
In Texas, we are pretty limited already.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to get back to work. I'm on my lunch break, but yeah, just want to tell you, they did a montage. They showed when Obama went to China, and they threw a couple roses his direction, and there's maybe 12 people there, but they compared it to Trump getting the red carpet, and our president's just kicking ass, dude. I mean this sincerely.
I think
I
that
feel sorry for you guys that can't appreciate our victories
I
that
think
we're
that
having right now.
they have to kiss his ass. They know that his ego can be stroked and they can get whatever they want out of him. And we can see that up and down throughout Congress or all the politicians that are like jumping for his attention, like trying to name bridges and shit after him. That's what you have to do to
And
get
they
Trump's attention.
and they agreed that Iran could never have the bomb. They agreed, acknowledged that with Trump. So
Yeah.
I guess that means we don't have to worry about them helping out Iran in the ways that we were afraid, or them even joining the war, for that
Yeah,
matter.
they can just do what they've been doing and enjoying the giant trade surplus they have from the world and at any given moment they could flip a switch and fuck y'all up.
Mm. Hey, before I go, Pickles, you seen all these volcanoes that are erupting underneath the ocean right now?
No.
Oh my gosh. I guess it's just in my feed because it knows that I care about global warming and I'm reading about it all the time. But there's this one that went off last week. It's a mile under the sea, and it's so powerful that by the time it hits the top of the water, it still pushes debris out like 9,000 feet. It's
Oh
crazy.
wow.
And then there's also, I don't know if you keep up with this, but El Nino, you heard about that?
No.
We're gonna have, oh my God, we're gonna have a huge El Nino this year. It's gonna be really storms, bad storms because of El Nino, which is really what drives the weather is these El Ninos and La Ninas. But yeah, El Nino, it's gonna be a few more months. I think it's towards the end of the year. Get ready, dude. Oh, and then one more thing I'm gonna tell you. I don't have time to discuss this with you, but if I were to say to you, hurricanes aren't becoming more frequent, you would say, oh, yeah, they are. Then you would look it up and you'd find out that they're not more frequent, but they're more powerful. And then you would research that and find out they're not really even more powerful than they have been in the past. Um,
We
let
have
me
a
ask you this.
2% decade increase?
You live in Texas. When's the last time Texas got hit with the, or what is it?
Sandy.
What's the strongest? The
Hurricane
strongest
Sandy.
is Category 5 that made landfall.
Sandy, right?
No, there's never been a Category 5 to hit landfall in Texas, not in recorded history.
Okay, but Texas is like tucked into the Gulf.
Yeah, there's hurricanes all around over there.
Yeah, but like
Mm,
it'd be a weird trajectory for it to come all the way in. Like they hit it usually more east.
mm. It's hit other places, but anyway, if you research the hurricanes, you'll find out they're not more frequent, and theoretically, they should be more powerful if the atmosphere is warming up because then it holds more water and it holds more energy and all that. But it's not really seen in the stats. Now you'll find them in your stats because you never met a stat that you didn't like. You know where to go get those left wing stats, and then you know case solved after that for you. But
From
you
Yale.
never read any you never read anything that's skeptical ever. You don't have any skepticism at all in you. You're a religious nut when it comes to the climate. So happy You know, happy worship to you. You guys are all just you believe in it, but you have no reason why except for it's the consensus. But yeah, you guys
Get out of here,
clueless when it comes
Cecil.
to the environment. I
Get
gotta go
don't
back to work. See you, dude.
get out
Hey,
of
have a
here.
good weekend. Hey, is tonight music night?
Yes.
All right, I'll be seeing you later.
All right. Hello, is this a Trump supporter? Okay. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Nah, that last guy was just like actually stupid as fuck. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I just had to say that. Like, I don't know what I just heard in my ears.
He's a climate change denier. He reads a bunch of weird climate change misinfo. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Hello, No, I'm actually a liberal. I'm on your side, but I'd love to chat.
Um, listen, I usually just take debates, especially at the beginning. I appreciate you calling up, though. All right.
Okay.
All right. Play the wrong song when Cecil requests. I can't do that to Cecil. He's been decent. He's been decent. Guys, we are doing, I think around 7 p.m. is when I'm going to do a jukebox stream. We're going to listen to music. We can trade music. It's $4 per request for the songs. And we'll spend a few hours just jamming out, hanging out, drinking energy drinks, fucking ripping Zens, being awesome as fuck. When are we doing that? 7 p.m. CST. Baseball's on tonight? That's all right. That's all right. You want that beep noise? It's just a setting you turn on with TikTok Studio. When I was young, we used paper bags and libs cried for the trees. Yeah. Paper's recyclable, but yeah, we know how trees create oxygen, and when you just cut them all down to make money, it's bad. That's real bad. Yellow. Hello, Finno.
So my first claim would be, would you rather be a tung 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 Sahura accelerationist or a neo-libertarian phalangist?
Oh, wait, what?
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 Would you rather be a tung 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 Sahura accelerationist or a neo-libertarian phalangist?
Bro's using Italian memes. Come on now.
Hi, Pickles.
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
What is going on with that profile picture, bro? What do you like about Trump?
He's made me a lot of money, but I wanted to go and ask some questions of at least your understanding, because I might be mistaken. But you were talking about climate change, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all live, like all humans live in the same Earth, correct?
I think so.
All right. So, how exactly does it help the climate if we make policies for one country to change their industrial practices and then move those industrial practices to another country. Because last time I checked, air currents don't stop at borders.
Right.
The
So
environment doesn't
if
stop
if
at the edge of a country.
if there's two countries doing pollution and one cuts it down and then forces a pact of many other countries to do the same thing, it's a net reduction, right?
That would be true if the other countries themselves did not have to compensate for that one country cutting down. So, in other words, like if we're saying we're going to cut down on our coal production that's used to make steel, but we're going to start getting our steel from other countries that are still using coal, they're basically doubling the production to compensate.
So if that
So
were
I'm
the
trying to
whole
figure out like exactly how are we helping the environment that way?
if that were the whole picture, you might have a case. But like for instance, for some reason we have one political party who just straight up just doesn't believe that climate change is like man-made, and they undo things and efforts that we have made to like increase production of alternative energies, renewable energies, like such as wind turbines, solar panels, hydro, thermal, whatever. All of these things were shunned out by the Trump administration. He's just come out and straight up said that energy climate change is BS. So I don't expect him to make any decisions to move the needle in the right direction. I think he would just exacerbate that problem. So I think that like the one for one scenario is not the whole story. I think that Trump defunding like entire multi-billion-dollar windmill farms hurt us. When he saw that other countries are a little more immune to the Strait of Hormuz closing because they've done these things, he was pissed and annoyed. I think Trump is entirely bought by big oil, like in the same way, like I don't know, Don't Look Up is a movie.
Well, you mentioned wind turbines. I've actually built wind turbines as an iron worker. So, do you understand that in a wind turbine, in order to like keep the thing working, requires oil?
Sure.
There's
Still,
like huge barrels they lift up from the ground to put inside each wind turbine to keep the thing lubricated, so that the thing doesn't spin out and just fall to the ground and break.
it's now not even close to the same amount of oil as we use to just push a car down the
But it
road.
but it requires oil to create the wind turbine.
But it's
I'm
still
trying to get.
net
Can you give me a
carbon efficient,
sure?
right?
Actually, they don't produce as much energy as they are required is required to create them. So the oil to
That's not
create
true.
really, can you
So
refute
like
it? Because
I
from
believe
what
it's like 10 years before they're net carbon efficient, every one of them.
but after 10 years they actually have to be dismantled to be fixed. So in other words, it's the
And then we
stuff.
go for another 10 years to make it net carbon efficient.
Because unless we go nuclear, I'm all nuclear. I'm happy to go all nuclear. But right now, like we can't get cars that are able to run nuclear. Uh,
So I
just
mean,
because
you
it's.
can have that opinion. I think we can agree that that's awesome too. But I the first thing it pulls up, it says the very low life cycle carbon footprint typically range from 5 to 26 grams of carbon per kilowatt hour, with an average around 11 grams. It's 99% lower than coal, 98% lower than natural gas. So while we can take one tub of oil and one barrel of oil and go lubricate it every once in a while, it still doesn't come out to like the constant drain of oil and the burning that we do with other things. I think it's silly. This is all misinformation paid for by billionaires, multi-billionaires. Then you're just carrying water for them.
I mean, shouldn't we all go to electric? I mean, isn't that part of the thing that would be helpful the most? Is the raising gas prices should be pushing people to go to electric vehicles, right?
Right.
So I thought the raising of the gas price would be a good thing to push people towards more electric vehicles.
Yeah, if Trump didn't undo a lot of the things that we did to make electric more viable.
I mean, Tesla's doing pretty darn good.
I mean, sure. I mean, again, like you're saying, yay, Trump is making gas prices expensive while also pushing people towards alternative energies, but Trump is also against alternative energies. and he's just there to make a quick buck with his
I'm
friends.
I'm here to make a quick buck. I've definitely made a quick buck because of what Trump's done.
Yeah, but you're very few people. So when we look at the majority of America and even the world, a lot more people are suffering. There's a lot more losers than winners. And just because you're insulated from it doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Well, that's the capitalist system. There's always going to be more losers than winners.
Yeah, I know, but we can minimize that. So the end
So
game,
you,
the thing that makes capitalism fail is wealth inequality. That is the end failure of capitalism, where one person or very few people have so much money and the rest of everybody else is poor. If you're contributing to that, you don't get any points, no matter where you are in that totem pole.
and so what would you believe is the way to rectify the wealth inequality?
Social safety nets, things that would take progressive tax rates, things that when somebody has billions of dollars and they're convincing you that wind farms are bad with a few skewed numbers, so that the masses will go and vote away wind farms, that's bad. But
So
when we
you're saying people that make lots of money uh, shouldn't have any sway. So my question is, how are you going to incentivize them to continue making lots of money? Because greed is a human trait.
you
How
can
are you going to? It sounds like you're removing the incentivization of progress and economic growth.
nobody sits around with a brilliant idea. Take like Mark Zuckerberg, for instance, when he was in college, he didn't go, you know what, god damn it, Obama just raised corporate taxes to 35%. I'm not going to do this. Nobody's doing that.
But even then, if you're saying, well, if you make over X amount of money, you're going to be taxed way more at your progressive tax
Do
rate.
you think they're going to
There's
stop
then
making money? Do you think
they're
they're
going
going
to
to
say,
stop?
hey, we are going to figure out a way to not go over that amount.
Well, again, that was actually a very useful mechanism of like the 1950s tax law. So, for instance, if Mark Zuckerberg had a 40% tax liability at the end of the year, and he had a decision to either pay it to the IRS or to pay it to his people or reinvest in his company, he would reinvest it in his company. So that was a very good mechanism of high tax rates. And that's when we saw the golden age of America's economy. We flourished. We built highways, we built schools. Now we have Trump reeling back all of these social safety programs and Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security and food stamps so that his rich friends can be richer. I think that is like
Wait,
double
so
negative there.
do you believe that we should go back to when that era was like, when it was like that back then in
I think that
America?
we could have a very progressive tax rate, and yes, that would be great. Yes.
And do you think that America was great back then?
Not for everybody, but I think the economic part of America was good.
So we can make America great again, correct?
Uh, sure,
Oh,
sure.
you just, I mean, heck, join me on the MAGA train, bro.
Just because
We
he
can make
says
America
that,
great again.
the biggest thing that I just watched another like a video on fascism, and one of the things that really stuck out for me was this use of slogans and mottos, and this use of like easy fixes for complicated problems. So like Trump's like whole build a wall thing. Nobody actually thinks building a wall that has a brain is going to fix the immigration system, not even a little bit. It would be just this huge thing where we hemorrhage money all the time. But it really like people really bought into this idea. Or tariffs. Like the dumbest people amongst us thought that tariffs were good. And they didn't even know how they worked, but they just thought that other countries are going to pay us money. This is something that Trump just continually perpetuates. Like this make America great again is silly because you're alluding to, I don't know, going back to a time like 1950 before women could vote, before women could have bank accounts, before black people could share a restroom with you. This is absolutely the wrong idea.
But you just said economically, 1950 was pretty darn good. So I mean, I don't understand why you don't want to go back to an economic time where it was better.
I don't want to go back to that time. I want to go back to that uh, tax structure.
Back to that economy, yeah. So it's like we can make America great again in that aspect, right?
Sure.
I mean, where I've made money personally, right? Specifically with Trump, uh, is with the tariffs. I was able to make educated guesses on how his tariffs would affect the market, and I was able to short a couple stocks that
That's a
I've done
privilege.
quite well with.
Yeah.
And
It's called a
then,
privilege.
well, when you short a stock, you are making a promise that you're going to buy said stock, um, whether it goes up or down.
And
It's
having
like
that money
it's
to
literally
buy those
gambling.
stocks is a privilege. Most Americans
Uh,
can't afford a $400 emergency.
yeah, penny stocks exist,
Yeah. And a lot of
and so I
people
don't know
lose a
anybody
lot of
that's
money in penny stocks.
yeah. If you're doing that, I mean, like again, investing is just gambling.
Yeah, and there's just as many winners as losers. Probably more losers than
Exactly.
winners. So,
And then most recently, like I bought my oil stock back in 2020 when it was like $10,
listen, we're all
and
proud of you. That's awesome. Like, but we're talking
and
about most of America. Most of America has problems outside of this. Nobody's wondering how to invest. A lot of people are just wondering how to like where to get their next meal.
well, it's really simple. There's three things that was put out a while back. There's three things people can do to ensure in today's America that they are at least middle class or upper middle class. Even people that are coming from outside the country that aren't that are coming in dirt poor. There's three things you can do. Three choices that's shown statistically possible to raise you to at least middle class. You graduate high school. You don't have kids before you're married. And you get a job. That's it. And if you fail any one of those things, usually you back up to your community and you say, "Hey, community, I need help with this." And your community, and if depending on where you live, your community has got your back. But it's town to town at that point.
So, if we looked at the states that were more notorious at making people fail out of high school, which states do you think that would be? It
I don't know.
would be the Bible Belt.
Okay.
So should we
And
figure out what's
to,
causing people to move out of like to flop out of high school? Teen pregnancy as well, the Bible Belt. So if I think that it's not as easy just going around and saying these things and being a dumbass about it. I think that there's actual social policies that influence these types of decisions. And it's not as easy as having all of the privilege in the world of having parents that would back you and hold you accountable to finish high school or something like that. Also, there's a lot of kids that need special needs, that have special needs in high school, that Trump has gutted these programs, that we will see more people fall to the wayside. And I feel like if you really are a patriot and you care about your fellow American, you would have more safety nets because these things pull people out of poverty and hardship and hard times, and it's been proven to lift people out of the problems that they've been having. And that way, we minimize the poor houseless people that you guys demonize so
oh yeah,
much.
definitely. I'm definitely America first. In fact, I believe that we should kind of go the way of Canada, where you get a card that says you're a citizen, you get free health care. If you're a citizen, you can prove your citizenship. I love that. I would love that for the U.S. I would love. I'm with Robert Kennedy on this one. Is that we pay for other countries to have to support their military and their medical system,
It's
and they
not
hate
really,
us. They should
yeah,
be able to hate us for free.
yeah. I think I think it's silly that uh, they've convinced you that somehow NATO is like a net drain to us. I think it's funny.
Last time I checked, why are we supporting other countries when we got people? You said there's people that are starving at home trying to find their next meal.
Yeah.
Why should we care about non-citizens before citizens?
Okay. The thing is, if the right actually added to these things, you'd have a point. The whole America First movement was a con because
I'm just
instead of
asking why,
America First,
like an answer.
they've gone around and they've spent more money abroad, Trump has, and have pulled back these things from Americans at the same time. He's looking at gutting even more so we can spend even more on our military. Like, this is not America First. This is Trump first. This is
Wait, so the veterans
Iran
don't
first.
deserve to get paid either? I mean, we don't. We shouldn't
We
support the
already
veterans.
we spend $1 trillion a year on the 2 million veterans that we have. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, dude?
Wait. So people who sign up to take life for our resources, because again, let's be truthful here. The last time the U.S. military actually fought for American freedoms, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
They fight for our resources.
Just
And so
because
you
you
don't
don't want to
believe that
spend
those
$1
people.
trillion, there's no other country on earth that does this. We don't need to keep going. We're good. We're good. In fact, every time we try to actually do things that help veterans, you guys fuck it up. Trump just made 10,000 more veterans homeless. He's not adding things to veterans. He's building a golden dome. He's doing all this other bullshit that's making him rich. He's investing in Boeing and Halliburton and all of these other companies that just, in fact, just make you rich when you go to war, and then he's going to war.
And
That's what he's
so
doing.
are soldiers being harmed more when they go to war, or less when they go to war, because we're spending money on companies that are improving the ability for our soldiers to fight? Which one is it?
That's not even a thing either. So,
Because
women,
last time I
for
checked, 30 years
instance,
ago, we didn't have drones.
yeah.
So
So women, for instance, they're in more of a risk at home than any American out at war. In the last 20 years, we've seen 4,400 Americans die in the Middle East. We lose about 1,200 women giving birth, which you guys are forcing women to do these days.
okay, what does that have to do with war spending?
You guys are just championing veterans who are now in less harm's way than ever for needless wars, by the way, needless, pointless, silly things that are fucking up the entire world economy. You guys, given the chance, will make more people starve to death just so you can kill more people.
Wait, needless war. What do you think the purposes of these war is?
I don't know, cover up the Epstein files or do something for Netanyahu.
No, it's really, really simple. It's called resource acquisition.
So we're going to make Trump's friends rich.
No, it's resource acquisition. Do you believe that there is all the resources that we need in America?
Do you think we should do imperialism again?
No, I'm just asking a very simple question. Do you believe all of the resources required to do industry and technological advances is found within America?
No, of course I don't. And that's why I'm not an isolationist, dumbass Trumper.
So the question is, if we're not able to get in America, where do we get it from that we're A, not having to be put into even more debt, and B, can actually acquire easily from? Where are
So
we going to get that?
again, none of this. No one has even come out and said that this is for resource acquisition. First of all, we went to go save the 30,000 people who were unalived by their government, and then we threatened genocide. And now it's all about getting their enriched uranium. It was never about resource acquisition.
It's always about resource acquisition.
Okay.
That's the underlying factor in every single war ever.
Okay. Again,
Because there's a
we're
finite amount
making
of resources,
people
right?
starve. We're making people like who gets those resources? Trump and his friends. Like no old lady with 3 kids that's starving is going to be stoked that we're going over there and getting minerals so that Trump and his friends stocks go up.
Do you like the scientific advances that we've made?
Sure.
Do you understand that in order to have the chemicals to make those scientific advances, we have to have resources for those?
Yeah, I mean, I would be with you there, but Trump has also like cut every like penny from all of the scientific programs that we do with colleges, that we do with entities that research for cancer. Trump has reeled all that back too, so you just don't
What policy is
really
that?
have
I've
a
never
point.
seen that policy.
Trump just fired like every scientist on the major board of scientific research recently
Where? Where?
in the
I'd
United
like to
States.
read that. I would like to read that article. Can you tell me what it is?
Yeah, Trump fires every member of the U.S. National Science Foundation's governing body. That's from science.org.
So they're the only ones doing medical and scientific research in the U.S.
I can point to Harvard. They're one of the forefronts of scientific research. Same thing with Columbia. I mean,
Because last time I checked,
RFK's.
most of these things there's grants that are given to people, but last time I checked, Trump doesn't actually hire these people. He can't really fire them either. So how exactly is he firing these people?
So he is using the presidential power to do things like strangle the budget for some of these places and hold that over their head until they make the fires necessary. Um, uh, but I think he actually directly did this. So he fired 22 members of the National Science Board that oversees National Science Foundation. Many science advocates see it as the latest step by his administration to erode, some would say destroy, the independence of 76-year-old research agency. So it was technically independent, but Trump is doing things to coerce them. In addition to advising the administration and Congress on national science policy, it has statutory authority to oversee actions of $9 billion, setting policy, approving large expenditures. It's presidentially appointed members.
So he's removing grants, correct?
These aren't grants. This is things paid for by our country, but I wouldn't say they're grants. This is like an independent body of research.
And the independent body of research requires budgets that the president has control of, correct?
Yeah, $9 billion, the same amount he's trying to steal from us for releasing his tax returns.
And so, in 4 years, or not 4 years, not even that anymore, 2 years, they could get put back into place, correct?
So
Well,
we can
the
undo the
president in
harm.
place-
Why would we do that? Would you say it's because
Every
it was
president
bad?
does that. Every single president does that.
No, they don't. Trump is specifically
What do
doing
you
this
mean
for
they
Project
don't?
2025. Project 2025 has called for the gutting of most federal agencies of Schedule F employees. Roughly like 50,000 of them have been fired and replaced with like loyalists, people who don't really have a concern for the bipartisanship nature of these organizations. They want full control because they're practicing this thing called unitary executive theory.
Yeah, no.
Have you heard of unitary executive theory? It's
I
basically
have
what
not
Trump
heard.
does. It's basically what Trump does by doing as much possible from EOs, from his desk, without the use of Congress, without the use of all of these other checks and balances. And you've seen him do things working hand in hand with like Mike Johnson to like neuter the courts, the federal courts of things like injunctions on executive orders. Now it's like a personal liability thing. So if I feel like the Trump administration has done something against my rights, I have to take a personal suit up with the government with my own money
You've
somehow.
always had to do that. Literally, when you want to sue the police, you have to take up your own money.
Yeah,
The
but there were
government has unlimited money.
federal judges, federal judges that would do injunctions on these things, saying no, this is a class of people that are already, their rights have been violated, and you can't do this. Now I have to individually fight for this.
Okay. So you're saying that there's problems with the justice system?
There's problems with the way Trump is trying to use the federal government.
Is he breaking laws to use the federal government that way,
I
or
would
is this
say
within
yes,
his powers?
easily. I would say yes, easily. Is he gaming the system? Yes, but by the time the damage is already done and the people are like stopping him in his tracks, he's already on to like 3 other things. So we just found out that like I think it's like 10,000 of his detention centers across the United States were completely illegal. Is the damage already done? Yes. Has Trump already enriched himself? Yes.
Well, you said, but he's gaming the system, correct?
And you're happy about this?
I mean, if there's nothing in the system, I think it's a good thing because literally, if we as America find a problem with it, we would change it, right? We would say, you know what, the next president's out. We're going to get our state elected officials to change this,
Yeah,
to
and
change it, to make this not possible.
that's
But
assuming that we
apparent-
have the same power in voting when Trump leaves. That's assuming that after all of these states have been gerrymandered to hell and diluted like minority votes to where most of them are meaningless. I would say that we have small to little hope of building these things back. I think it'll take decades to build back, and it'll be multiple decades before we even pay back the harm that Trump has caused, just in the debt that he's caused. Trump is responsible for 25% of this country's debt in general. So all of this stuff takes work and time and money, and he has left us just about powerless.
I'm just saying, it's like if you're able to show where it's corrupt, I think it's a good thing to actually. I mean, at least it's out in the light, right?
I'm sure they were stoked about when Mussolini did it or when Hitler did it. I'm sure they were
And
stoked.
they
They're like,
made
this is what we
laws
need to
to
do.
to change it,
Yeah,
right?
but a lot of people died.
Okay, and
I care about that.
our medical advances are literally caused by horrors in history. Do you not like the medical advances?
So you're just an accelerationist. I don't know what you're saying,
Uh,
dude. I guess you can try to sugarcoat this and see the silver lining, but yeah, you ran. I think it's gross, dude. I think it's gross. Good, good. Now we know what to fix when I'm dead. Hello, is this a Trump supporter? I'm gonna assume not. Hello, is
Hey.
this a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
His stance on this, well, his stance currently on the Second Amendment, as well as his ICE operations that he's been conducting. Or I shouldn't say
Ooh.
ordering.
So ICE, mostly responsible for mass deportation, right?
Yeah.
What are the big advantages to mass deportation?
So the goal that at least that I have been seeing, according to the Trump administration, is to combat crime as well as pretty much. Actually, that's really kind of it. That's really the only really good
it's pretty
argument.
sad.
Yeah, that's the only good argument to really make.
It's not a good argument. So I'm going to show you exactly how much crime these people are responsible for, and you tell me if it's worth creating a $370 billion deficit, okay? This is homicide manslaughter. This is all of the people. This is from U.S. Customs Border Protection. This is a .gov website. All right?
Yes,
This is where they track all of it. Homicide manslaughter. We have 3 people murdered at the time when Trump said these people are rapists, these people are murderers. Some might be good people. There were 11 million of them here. They created 3 crimes, 3 murders. If we deport 100% of them, we will reduce our crime rate by 0.0000%.
Jesus, these are some little numbers. So the violent crime is quite low, or at least according to customs and
very low, pathetically low.
Well, there goes my argument for that. I can't even argue. I can't argue this.
Do you remember, like in the 1940s, when there was a guy that tricked a bunch of people into thinking there was like 1% of the population that was responsible for a lot of crime?
No.
His name was Hitler.
Ah. Yeah, well, I would know, but not know. High school, they didn't really tell us too much about Hitler. Just give us a brief synopsis.
So Hitler ran on this nativism thing where if you're not this blonde-haired, blue-eyed German Aryan person, you're not part of the superior race, and Jewish people are responsible for all of the world's problems when it comes to the economy and stuff like that. He convinced the populace of people. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have someone like me out there saying, hey, here's the actual stats. These people fell for it. These people fell for it. They got enraged. They whipped up all sorts of emotions because he was a great speaker. He was a charismatic figure. And I feel like we're looking at the same thing where Trump is making us fight and worry about all this stuff while he's enriching himself in private prisons, in charter plane companies, and making deals with dictators across the world. I don't know, man. It's almost a perfect parallel, if you ask me.
Fair enough. I guess we can move on to the second argument since I just lost that. Let's talk about the Second Amendment. So, I would say I do understand that Trump in his first term was against the Second Amendment. I was actually having another debate with another individual named Eric about it. Um, but here in his stance now in the second term, he has been aggressively um, fixing that or changing that and making the Second Amendment more free for Americans, as far as I'm aware.
I feel like no matter what, people who obsess over their pew pews will vote for a Republican Party regardless of how detrimental they are to the economy. But we absolutely have a pew pew problem here in America. And I think that the second the left talks about any type of like sensible gun control, like red flag laws, like I don't know, universal background checks, they get paranoid. And the NRA have paid a lot of money to make gun culture the way it is now, where people just think that we're going to come for all of your guns. I have pew pews. Most of my liberal friends have pew pews. Uh, and I think that this is the numbers are just atrocious. Like when we look at gun deaths, 60% of gun deaths are self inflicted, meaning the more guns out there, the more likely you are to just kill yourself.
Wouldn't you think that's more of a mental health problem rather than a gun problem?
I mean, we have mental health problems all across the world, right? But they don't kill themselves with guns.
Well, I mean, if we're talking worldwide, what Japan they their biggest thing is that they commit mass suicide. Um,
A lot of them are accidental, but
Accidental.
yeah.
Oh, you're okay. You're talking about in terms of the statistics for gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
40,000 gun deaths every year. It's the highest. Uh, it's for children ages. I think it's like 0 to 18. It's the leading cause of death.
from self-inflicted wounds or from gang related violence.
Much of both gang related.
Um, sorry, I'm trying.
Whether or not you're in a gang still makes it gun violence.
Well, I know it's still classified under gun violence. I was just trying to figure out if it's under the self-inflicted or
I would
under
say
homicide.
60%.
Okay. Um. So, and okay, I guess my question is to you, how would you handle being able to add common sense gun laws without restricting Americans' rights on guns?
So I feel like without being a partisan hack, you can look at this objectively and say we can't have things like tanks. We can't have things like atom bombs in our homes because of the obvious collateral damage that could cause. I feel like we should be looking at things like high caliber, high velocity, high magazine round, or high capacity guns and say fewer people should have this. There should be more vetting. There should be more training. There should be a higher age or a longer wait period of time. And I think that that is just fine. People obsess over the words shall not be infringed. And I think that they skim over the well regulated militia part.
Okay. No, I understand now. Okay. Um, yes, Misty, I understand that they gave me info. I'm also wanting to reach out to Pickle as well and get his stance on it as well. Um, so regarding that process, right? Wouldn't you say that that would be restricting um, their rights? Because
Yeah, the same way it restricts someone's rights not to be able to have a nuclear bomb. We're the only country in the world with this problem. 40,000 gun deaths every year. when we've just spent $250 billion on 3 deaths per year.
A quarter of a what?
Trillion
Trillion.
with a T.
And where was this source?
I'm just looking at mass deportation and the economic effects of it. So mass deportation is going to explode our deficit by $370 billion a year per year. That could have bought everybody a house. They could have given everybody free education as well. Everybody would get like a gold bar and a puppy dog and a horse too.
Okay. I see. I'm trying to figure out how would you, because as you said, it would be restricting their rights. However, you're also trying to keep the public safe. That's your argument, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Like I don't
and
think like an 18-year-old should have the second they walk into a store. I'm in Texas. I can go to a store and buy an AR right now. No wait time. I can carry it around with me. And no training. I could accidentally pew myself. My brother is a security guard, and he actually just encountered somebody who accidentally pewed themselves with an AR cleaning it. And like that shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be like we wouldn't hand out nukes to people with no training.
so, okay. So, I looked up at an article that they were doing in California. I know this is more state related than federal, but one of the sheriff's office out there taking a very long time to certify individuals for their concealed carry. So wouldn't you say that would um, that due to that agency taking forever to certify these people, that it would also be inhibiting their rights to be able to defend themselves in order to be well trained?
I just don't think there's a really good case for you to make that it's all about self-defense. If we look at like another country that just doesn't have guns, our our crime rates are so much higher because of it. So like the UK had 200 stabbings last year versus 40,000 gun deaths. Do you think somebody's got a 20 KD with a knife? Because they absolutely can get it with a pew pew. And I think that there's more forward aggression. Like you said, there's people with mental health problems, and that will never go away, especially after the Republicans have just gutted all of it every chance they can get. That's never going to be a thing that goes away. But the ability to enact your most violent fantasies is very possible, no matter how demented you might be. And I think that there needs to be a way to stop that. And I think it's obvious, like having some sort of mental health check before you get some sort of insanely powerful weapon. Maybe even an IQ test. I don't know. But pew pews, handguns. If it's merely for self defense, a shotgun, a handgun. That would make you much. It would be much less likely to see the same dynamic we see outside of Uvalde, where 300 police officers were just chilling for 72 minutes because one kid had an AR. That wouldn't happen with a shotgun. Wouldn't happen with a handgun. I think that we really need to reel this back.
Understood. Fair. Understood. All right. Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Pickles. Thank you for having me up on your channel.
Anytime, dude.
Hope you have a good day.
You too.
Yeah.
All right. Chat, follow the stream if you enjoy these debates. Tap the screen. If you're a Trump supporter, you don't want to debate, hop in the box. Come tell me why you like Trump. I'm going to turn the phone line back on. I'm sure this got some people on YouTube crying. That convo was so dignified. Dude, that guy was chill. Need more guests like that. That guy's chill. I have a shotgun. I have a handgun. If someone were to come to my home, I'm more than equipped to take care of it. Hello, is this a Trump supporter? Okay. The Labor Party was wiped out in a recent election, and they're a carbon copy of Democrats. Yep. And we can also look at Hungary, and Hungary overthrow Trump's carbon copy, Viktor Orban. The same way. Yellow.
Trump sucks.
W. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I'm a Trump supporter. Not much of a debater, but I don't know why is it that people who dislike Trump, why are they so vocal? Like so, I don't know. It's a what did he call it? There's a syndrome like an anti-Trump syndrome or something.
So there was a guy that in Minnesota that came up with a bill trying to make Trump derangement syndrome like a mental health concern. And that same guy was arrested for soliciting a minor for nudes. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, well, I was talking about the phrase, not the guy who made it, but it is. I think it's a real thing because it's ridiculous. I don't know. I've just had such a taste in my mouth for like how people feel about Trump. It's like every president's been a piece of shit, pretty much. They all lied to us. I feel like at least like we know what to expect with him. Like we know this is how he is. He's gonna do it. Like.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Trump being leader of the free world, he's done maximum damage and maximum profiting for himself. And
for sure.
There aren't too many presidents that have caused the damage that he has.
In some way or another, they're all crooked. They're all super sneaky about it. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know.
He's blatantly corrupt, I guess is what you're saying. Yeah, I think that they've like manufactured consent from y'all to do corruption by alleging everybody else is corrupt. I think it's silly.
Well, no, I mean obviously everyone else is corrupt. Like it's super. There's no honest politicians.
What's the most corrupt thing Joe Biden did?
Joe Biden, he was just a puppet. He wasn't even there. He was asleep after that, I think.
I think that is some straight up Biden derangement syndrome. I don't think you can actually point to that or substantiate that, like to the people in charge.
Yeah, I mean,
but even if there was somebody pulling the strings, what's the most corrupt thing that person pulling the strings did?
Okay, well, how about this? When Biden first came into office, there was a gas pipeline that was in North America that they shut it down due to like I'm not super political.
I'm going to help you out with this. I'm going to help you out with this. So you're talking about the Keystone XL pipeline?
Yes, Keystone XL pipeline.
So the Keystone XL pipeline was a Canadian-owned pipeline. It was 8% complete, and it was shut down by Judge Brian Morris in 2019, further upheld by Trump's Supreme Court in 2020. And when Biden got into the office, no one needs a permit for a project that is dead in the water, so he tore it up. And it had no effect on gas prices.
He signed an executive order.
Yeah, no, to tear up the permit.
Okay.
This is just misinformation.
What was that?
This is just misinformation that has been perpetuated for 6 years now. It was a big nothing burger. They don't even want the pipeline anymore. Canada doesn't even want it.
I'm sure I'm sure Biden. Okay. Biden was a crook. Why was his son was in a condo in Malibu or apartment in Malibu, whatever, house in Malibu, painting pictures, stupid little pictures that he's never painted before. He's not an artist or anything like that, and selling it to like high level executives for millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
For what?
Again, I don't think that you can really say that like if Barack Obama's children's painted pictures, they would also be able to sell them for hundreds of thousands of dollars just because of the name. I don't think that's really corruption.
No, that's kind of corruption. That's a very smart way of like, hey, pay us somebody, we'll get something done. That's how I look at it.
What's the big thing America like suffered through that caused?
With what?
Like somebody buying paintings from Hunter Biden. Like I could say that Trump going and doing this.
Biden, and I was just telling you like that. Yeah. I'm sure that was a corrupt.
I don't think you have a good thing to say about that. Like I would say that like Trump sending us to war and investing in all of these like military industrial complexes and placing bets on Polymarket, which his son owns, or on Kalshi, which his son owns, that he threw away all of the litigation that was challenging the legality of these like trading companies. He threw all that out the window, allowed that to happen, and he's also now pumping and dumping people with like a meme coin and did a rug pull on them, and he's sending people to die, and he's reeling back Americans like medical care and social security and food stamps so we can do more of that. And he has definitely made like $4 billion, $5 billion last year just by doing that kind of stuff.
That is sure he has.
That is corruption at the detriment of American society. But like Hunter Biden, who is also a lawyer, who is also very established in his field, selling paintings doesn't really hurt my feelings that much.
Okay, but you asked me to point out where he was corrupt. Like how was he corrupt? I don't know if it excuses him the whole sticking the FBI on Trump for all that. That was kind of ridiculous.
It was Trump's FBI director that Trump appointed.
Yeah, but I mean everyone. It doesn't make it.
Do we have any?
Yeah,
do we have any like messages like from Biden that we've uncovered that showed him to direct these people to do that? Because we have them from Trump. We don't have anything like that from Biden. I think Trump does this thing called Darvo. So when Trump wants to do something illegal, he accuses his opponents of doing that thing, so that when we turn around and say, "Hey, actually, it's Trump doing that," you don't care. So Trump openly told Pam Bondi to go persecute his opponents, and we've seen like real frivolous lawsuits talking about Jerome Powell. We can talk about Letitia James. These lawsuits are just thrown away. They're like, what the fuck is this? James Comey, 8647 with seashells? That's what weaponizing the DOJ looks like.
I don't know what's going on with that at all. I haven't
that was thrown out.
It
was thrown out. Because that's what a frivolous lawsuit looks like. That's what that looks like. Biden didn't have that.
I heard something about seashells. It can't be that. It can't be something as silly as that, though.
It literally is. It literally is. It was about James Comey putting 8647 in the sand with seashells, saying that was a threat to a threat of violence towards the president. When 86 just simply means. When 86 simply means it's like a restaurant thing. Like if you're going to 86 this table, they got to get out. It doesn't mean kill them.
It's also a killing thing. Like you're going to kill someone, or shut them up, or like.
That's not the colloquial use of that term.
8 feet out, 6 feet down. That's what it stands for.
I'm sorry.
The mob in Vegas, 86, means 8 feet out in the desert and 6 feet down, off the road. That's what 86 is from.
86 is a restaurant term. Like, I think more people use it for a restaurant term. I don't think too many people are in the business of burying bodies.
Well, but why was he using it for a restaurant term with that? That doesn't make any sense. It would make more sense that he was saying the other way. What I was saying.
I also think that is obvious, like, selective outrage when y'all had shirts made that said 8646.
Who y'all? I don't wear that shit. I
people on your side.
Everyone. All these presidents are fucking corrupt, bro. We need serious reform in every fucking department in this country. This country's going to shit in a handbasket.
Well,
but
I think Trump is doing that. I think Biden like made 15 million
Okay.
jobs. He did.
Hold on. Let me say what I do like about Trump. Okay, with disclosure going on right now, what do you think of disclosure? Is that important to you?
I'm sorry.
Disclosure, like the all the stuff the alien disclosure shit that he's doing right now.
I think it was big nothing.
You're not interested in that?
No.
What?
I think it was big nothing burger.
You haven't heard about Nothing Burger?
Yeah, a bunch of vague pictures, one of which was a flare on a parachute.
That was just the first. That was just the first rollout of things. You know, they're
Where are
going to
the
come out with
Epstein files?
The Epstein files. I mean, some came out. Where were they with Biden? Biden had them all that time. Where were they with him?
They were under seal. Ghislaine Maxwell was appealing them. They were in a working investigation.
I mean, he released some of them, but I think that's super fucked up too. That whole thing is super fucked up, and he should not have been involved with those people. But I mean, I think that's the dual party thing. I think that's going to be Republicans and Democrats.
Dude,
they're both.
Even England is going over and trying to prosecute like Prince Andrew and stuff with the files.
No, I agree.
And they're reaching out to the DOJ asking for the unredacted versions. DOJ is just ghosting them. There is nothing more blatantly corrupt than that. Than I can point. Like with Biden's son selling paintings, we've come a long way.
Biden was just as guilty about that too, because he didn't let anything out.
It was under seal. And he also left the independent, like those bodies, the DOJ and the FBI, were independent under Biden.
And also, look at how the case was handled under the Biden administration. The case was like that's what it happened under the Biden administration. So there was cover-ups on his side too. Like
What case?
With the Epstein case.
The case was under. Listen, do you understand? Like the most recent thing with Epstein, where he was facing 67 federal charges, meaning the FBI could have very well been involved. The person, his personal prosecutor, Alex Acosta, got those charges down to state charges, to like 2 state charges. The most prolific child sex trafficker in history of the United States got their charges reduced down to 2 state charges, and he did like a few months. That person, his name is Alex Acosta. Trump hired him to be labor secretary in his first administration.
Yeah, I'm aware that there's bad stuff on both sides, but I'm just saying, like, why?
I'm failing to see the side, like my side. Can you tell me like the equivalent that's happened on our side?
No, because but the same shit happens, bro. You know what happens? All this shit gets swept under the rug. There's all kinds of dirty shit going on in the background.
So you have nothing you can prove, but we can see Trump doing like no bid contracts for like $13 million pool painting.
I'm not saying Trump is a saint. I have not said that this entire time.
There's
I know
nothing
Trump
you
is
can
not a
compare
saint.
it to. There's nothing you can compare it to. Saying he's not a saint is silly. He is openly corrupt, egregiously corrupt. He has made more money than all politicians ever in the United States history combined times 10.
Are you telling me they can all legally inside trade? Like all politicians are super corrupt.
Again, that's what he's sold. He's manufacturing consent from you, being like, oh, look at all these people insider trading. That means I get to go steal money from Americans in the open.
No, I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right. I like I said, I think there needs to be serious reform, like all around, everywhere. But I would hate Trump. Like he's just like everybody else. Like
he's not.
I like him. He's doing crazy.
Trump is like a 13 out of 10, and we got Obama and Biden like a 1 out of 10 so far. Nothing that you can prove, just conspiracies.
What do you mean nothing can prove? Okay, so Obama, okay, what happened? Well, I know about. Okay, so when the whistleblower, the NSA whistleblower came out, like he was trying to kill him, have him killed, and like this and that, like, and that was like some dirty shit that they were doing to Americans. They're spying on us, and this guy let us know about it. And if he was a good president,
Ed Snowden.
Yeah, Ed Snowden. Yeah, if he was like,
that's not an Obama thing. So if you knew anything about like the CIA and intelligence community, they are there much longer than presidents are. They are
Yes, yes.
independent.
And
They have a lot of
that's the
say
thing.
into how presidents act and behave and what conflicts they engage in. They are, if anything, the puppet masters.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you, but the president's still the president. The president could, he's the president, he's the commander in chief. You know,
Yeah.
if someone brought to his attention that, oh, we're spying on Americans, we're not supposed to do this, this is against the Constitution, then the president's main goal, and I'm not saying Trump's fucking great. I'm sure he's fucking crooked too about this shit, but they're supposed to uphold the Constitution, correct? If that's how they get sworn in. I'm gonna uphold the Constitution.
Yeah, not write executive orders against it.
Yes, but my point is they both do it. They all do it.
Not to
We
the
need to have
same degree.
reform all across the board.
Not even
Not
close to the same degree.
No, they're just better. They're just better at looking good while doing it. Trump.
No,
just
I
doesn't
think
care.
that Trump has
He doesn't
just
care.
got no care in the world. He is so narcissistic, and he really just truly only cares about himself. Well, think about all of the things Trump has just plastered his name on. Think about like even in like bridges, money, the Trump phone, Trump water, Trump steaks, Trump vodka, the Strait of Hormuz, the Strait of Trump, the Gulf of America was originally going to be the Gulf of Trump. He's obsessed with himself. He is obsessed with himself. And then you guys turn around and say, we have TDS.
Cold motherfuckers. They're all like that. Trust me.
No one else is like that. No one else is like that. Not a single person I know alive is like that.
Billionaires are all egotistical.
No. Mark Cuban, can you name the last time Mark Cuban posted a picture of him owning everything?
Okay.
A gold statue of himself?
Are not, he might, I don't know, bro. I'm, yes, Trump is a little outrageous with it, but you're telling me that not every billionaire is like that? Not every billionaire is super egotistical, not every billionaire thinks they're above everybody else? You're telling me that?
I feel like this is the buffer that really got him into office, is like looking at Trump's problems and his character flaws and just attributing it to being a billionaire. Like, oh, he's just problematic because he's a billionaire. And he's like, fuck your feelings because he's a billionaire. There's no other billionaire like that. There's no other billionaire that does this stuff. Not to the degree Trump does. Trump has been caught with fraudulent universities. He's been caught from stealing from children cancer charities. He openly brags about raping women.
The Clintons.
Okay, can you tell me the big bad thing the Clintons did?
Okay, the aid foundation. I'm sure that lined their pockets. I don't know how much aid research they did with that money, but I'm sure they got real rich off of it.
So nothing you can really point to. And by the way, AIDS is like something that we've made huge progress on, despite Republican help.
It's about the same it's been for like 10 years. Like we haven't cured it yet.
Remember when Agin didn't want to give anybody any help on the AIDS epidemic, and Dr. Fauci kept his head down and did it anyways? And then privately, Reagan had a gay friend that was suffering from AIDS, and he gave his little friend all of the medical research and help in the world. But for the rest of the gay community, he didn't want to help them. He called it the homosexual disease.
Yeah, that's not right. I'm not saying it's right, but I don't know, you're really defending the Democrats, and I don't think
there's nobody even close to openly corrupt and problematic as Trump. Trump is the most inflammatory political figure that walks the earth.
He's open about it, yes. That's one of the reasons that I respect him more than the rest, because he doesn't like hide.
He does hide it. He's lying about it constantly, and you guys just don't care about that either.
No, it's not that I don't care about it. It's that you're going to deal with it either way.
Not true. Trump has made more money than every politician in history of the United States combined times 10.
How do you know that? How do you know that for a fact?
Because he's made $4 to $6 billion last year.
Okay, but how do you know that's more than any other politician? How do you know that?
Because I can read the unusual whales list, and they track this with insider trading. Nancy Pelosi, $256 million over the course of 50 years in fucking politics, versus Trump, like quadrupling that in a year.
Yeah, he had a bunch of money before all that. He had,
and he just magically doubled it in 1 year when he became president.
Wait, how much? How many billion did you say?
He's doubled his wealth last year.
Wait, how much? How many billion did you say he made last year?
4 to 6.
He did. He had way more than that. He has way more than 4 to 6 billion.
That's not true. It's not true. He's lied about his wealth a lot, and we caught him in the New York courts. He lied about his wealth constantly.
Yeah, I'm sure he has. Because like, he's just using like it's nothing that none of these other politicians are doing, bro.
Not even close to
It's really
Trump.
not.
Not even close to Trump.
Probably,
You
he probably had a
imagine
lot more money than them, but
when Obama built a $12,000 basketball court in the White House, people fucking threw a shit fit. But he's got a $13 million reflection pool contract. No bid contract. His like hand-selected contractor gets it with a 20% guaranteed profit margin. And we also have Trump getting $400 million jets from Qatar. We have Trump with $1 billion ballroom, and we found out that he's also been asking companies to donate funds for this ballroom, and in exchange, he's giving them contracts through the federal government. So he's enriching his friends to get a ballroom.
yeah,
You can't point to anybody doing anything close to that. Nobody comes even close.
I don't believe that the Democrats are squeaky clean. I just don't.
Yeah, we're a 1 out of 10, and then Trump's like a 13 out of
10. And about what you said about gun rights earlier, I mean, I don't really disagree too much with what you said about gun rights, but I think gun rights are, it's written in the Constitution. It's our inalienable right to, be able to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. And you were stating, oh, look at you. Okay, that's what I had. This is the problem I had with what you said. You stated that look at other countries that don't have guns and look at the gun violence that happens in those countries. And I didn't really agree with that statement because other countries are, communist, China. Like, maybe they don't have much gun violence, but look at all the other problems that they have.
What problems
because
do they have? Like Europe, for instance, they don't have any of the gun violence. In fact, all of the crime rates are literally lower than us. Our violent crime per capita is like 5, and theirs is like 3.
I'm sure there's a lot of other factors though that play into that. Like the amount of money that America has per capita. I'm sure it's a lot more than Europe. The drug problems and like there's a lot.
Guns don't replace drug violence.
What?
Guns don't.
What'd you say?
The removal of like if they had guns, I'm sure drug violence would just go up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it would. But what what was I saying? I don't know. All I'm saying is they're both corrupt, bro. I like Trump because, like I said, like he's doing disclosure. No other president would even touch that. No other president even sniffled about that. Even hinted that was a possibility that we're not alone in this world. I think that's a huge deal.
Trump over-redacted. He's only released half of the Epstein files, dude. What does that say?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's shit in there that I'm sure, bro. I'm sure he did just cut that motherfucker off and like never talk to him again. But Clinton was his best pal. He had a fucking painting of Clinton wearing the dress.
Arrest him. Arrest Clinton. But he won't. Because the investigation will lead right back to Trump's friends. He won't.
Trump's but Clinton I'm sure it's on both sides. I'm sure it's pretty equally on both sides.
Yeah,
it's a disgusting thing. I don't agree with it whatsoever.
That doesn't help me sleep at night. I want both sides arrested. Trump is arresting nobody. The biggest, most prolific child sex trafficking ring in the United States. There is a picture of a girl who is surrounded by men, face redacted. The men's faces are redacted for some fucking reason. But Pam
Yeah,
Bondi and
no, I
Trump
agree
and
with that.
Cash Patel have all seen the pictures of these men with their faces unredacted, and their fingers are covered in blood. They just finished raping this girl. Not one arrest, dude. What
Wait,
kind of
what?
person does that require?
Their hands were covered in blood?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's disgusting, bro. That's fucking disgusting. I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I'm
How
not
do you
gonna
look
get
at that and
into
say
that.
no investigation, no arrest? How do you do that?
No, I think there should be investigations and arrests, but I think it's on both sides. They're
I
both
don't
covering it
care.
up.
No, first of all, the FBI is completely partisan, been gutted of every single democratically appointed person, every single one of them. Kash Patel has been open about this, so no, it's not both sides.
But both sides are the people that are the really powerful that are involved in Epstein. It's on both sides.
Yeah. Do you think Trump needs protection from people from both sides being president of the United States?
What do you mean?
No, I think he's fine.
What do you mean?
I think
Yeah.
Trump is insulated enough, being one of the richest men alive, with Secret Service detail for the rest of his life. If he were to oust these people, he'd be just fine. But he just so happens to only be friends with like dictators and horrible
I don't know
people.
about that. I don't know about that. My opinion on that particular statement is it's not there anymore, because just with all this shit that's been going on with the UAP and like what is it, the Title 15, what is it, Title 15 or something like that. Like, I just think that I don't know. They could probably kill the president. I mean, they might have had something to do with that assassination. I don't know. That's what people say. I haven't really looked into it that much, but it's just real funny that there was a obvious like sniping point that was left open, and no one was there. I don't know. That kid should have never been able to get that close. You know.
I don't know, man. I think that anybody who's covering up the Epstein files has just as much danger posed to them for being a disgusting piece of shit.
No, you're right. You're right. But what are we gonna do? I think there needs to be reform all across the board. I think there needs. I think something's gonna happen in the next 10 years probably, because the class of people are getting too separated. This disgusting atrocities are happening on both sides of the fence. Fucking the corruption is happening on both sides of the fence. It's
You haven't
now
pointed
becoming
to any substantial corruption on our side, by the way. Not yet.
I'm not some investigative journalist, bro. I'm not. But
But this is your opinion.
No, I think it's a little bit more than an opinion. I think it's like you're telling me that you can't sit here and tell me that, oh, the Democrats are clean, the Democrats don't do anything bad, the Democrats aren't dirty, they don't.
I'm not saying
they're
that.
not
I'm just saying they're like
raping
light years
kids.
better. They're light years better for the economy every time. They're light years better for the budget. They're light years better for social
The economy is a whole
policy.
lot better right now than it was under Biden.
What?
The economy right now, I feel like, is a whole lot better than it was under Biden. What? I don't know if you do contracting or anything like that, but
Trump has spent a lot of time trying to convince y'all that Biden ruined the economy, but not a single one of y'all can point to a thing he did to hurt the economy. It was COVID, man. It was COVID. By the way, the high gas prices during Biden was Trump. That was because of Trump, which was also a huge source of inflation.
During Biden have to do with Trump?
So on Trump's way out in 2020, barrel was negative $37 a barrel for the first time in U.S. history. Trump's oil friends who fund his campaign, who he is good friends with, called him and said, hey, we're hurting. Can you tell your friends in Saudi Arabia to stop drilling so much oil? And just like the Strait of Hormuz makes gas prices skyrocket because of the reduction of oil, he did this like on purpose. He told them, hey, stop drilling oil to the tune of $9.7 million or million barrels a day. And you need to do this for 2 years straight. And that was 2 years into Biden's presidency. The day that deal was over, gas prices plummeted.
Okay, so you believe that there's probably some pulling streaks with Trump, and is someone pushing their pushing an agenda on Trump behind the scenes, right?
Say that again.
You believe that there's someone pushing an agenda behind the scenes with Trump, right?
I think Trump is just open to the highest bidder for everything. Yeah.
Okay, and you don't think that there's someone on the Democrat side that's pushing their agenda on whoever's president when
Can
the
you
Democrat
tell me
is?
like a thing Democrats did that would show
Can you
like
tell, can you tell me a thing that Trump is doing right now that is?
that is corrupt?
I came
Yeah,
on. I came
against the
here
will of the
thinking I
American
wasn't.
people. Like him clawing back millions of people on food stamps, reducing how much money they get, reducing people's Medicare,
I don't know.
cutting 12
I just
million
went
people
signed
off
up for food
Medicare
stamps
so
the
we
other
can bomb
day.
more people.
I just went and signed up for food stamps the other day, and I got more money than I ever got before. So I don't know. I didn't feel that.
You got food stamps the other day, you said?
Yes.
So his first administration he pulled 80,000 people off of welfare, meaning they just were stuck without benefits. And the same
Okay, but
same
who are those
thing this
people?
time.
Who
300
are those people? I think there's a lot of people out there that abuse the system.
He's raised the
So
bar for the again. This is also just Republican messaging. I will never get over the fact that you guys would rather punish the masses because of few people abusing the system. There's no way for us to determine that the people we've removed off of food stamps were the people abusing it. But
well,
in
I mean,
every
I know I'm in the trenches. I see all the abuse that happens all the time. I know all about all that stuff. And I think a lot of people do abuse it. A lot
yeah, I
of
know,
people
and that
abuse it.
doesn't hurt my feelings because in every penny we spend in food stamps, it helps the economy. It's a net positive every time. So it's
Yeah,
just
but
the
who
only
was
thing bad
affected by
about
the
it is your
welfare? I don't
feelings.
know me personally that was affected by the welfare though.
I'm
So I'm
sorry.
trying to figure out. You said how many people lost their welfare? I'm trying to think of one person I know
80,000?
that lost their welfare. 80,000?
80,000? Yeah, we live in a country of 350 million people, so you might not know one.
Yeah, that's not that much. 80,000 is not that much in the grand scheme of
Okay,
things.
but
I mean,
we have like 3.5 million people that got their food
but
stamps removed or reduced this
there's some
time.
people who like glitched in the system who get like double welfare and stuff like that. Like, are you sure like
Can't we
that
just
wasn't what was
fix
cleaned up?
that instead of raise the bar and remove those fundings? Like,
But
there's plenty
maybe
of
that's what that
people.
80,000 was. 80,000 is not that much, bro.
Okay, but
80,000 is not that much.
there's plenty of people who went from like $400 a month to like $80 a month.
Who?
I don't. Do you
I
want a
haven't heard
name?
anything about that. I haven't heard. I mean, I'm out here, bro. Like I live in LA, and I know lots of people. I do my, I haven't heard of anyone saying that. Oh, I don't get welfare anymore.
4.3 million people lost their supplemental nutrition assistance program benefits between January 2025 and January 2026. That's a
Okay,
lot of
who were those
people.
people? Were they illegal citizens?
That's not very
Were they illegal
America
citizens?
first. We have taken all of this money and we've given it to rich people. That's what Trump has done.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure some people have gotten richer in this administration, just like in the Biden administration. I'm sure there's some people that got richer too.
Can you name a thing Biden did to make the wealthiest of the wealthy richer?
Okay, I know that he wasn't a fan of Elon, but he was a fan of like General Motors and stuff like that. And well, I'm sure. I mean, I just don't know who's on the Dem side. I don't know.
95% of people paid higher taxes this year because of Trump.
Higher taxes, what, like sales tax, just all general
Federal taxes.
federal taxes. How much did it go up?
It's different for every
Hold on.
class.
I have a fucking smartphone in front of me, and I could have been fishing facts this whole time. I'm going in here blind. Hold on. Let me use my noggin real quick. Let's see. Taxes going up during the Democrats. I love Biden. Not Biden. I love Obama. I think Obama was a cool president.
Yeah, but I think that's just vibes based. I think a lot of people have service level politics. I think
Oh
Obama did
shit.
some great stuff, but if I were to ask MAGA like a thing he did that was good, I don't think they'd be able to say it.
No, I think he was a good president. I don't think he was a bad president at all.
Can you name a
I
thing
think we
he
got
did?
he did Obamacare. Everyone knows that though. He did the Obama phone.
Don't you guys hate that part though?
I don't hate that part. I think that was good. I think it was great for people.
All right.
But I'm not. But I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was crooked, bro. I'm sure he did some shit to line his pockets. I'm sure he did. You're not. No one's gonna be put in that kind of position and not line their pockets, bro. If you were
I
president
think if he
tomorrow,
did it
you
blatantly,
would line your pockets.
if he did it at the expense of the everyday American, that'd be one thing. But like he wrote a book, or he like did speaking opportunities for a couple $100,000 here and there. That's
I'm not
normal.
talking about that kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about I'm going to get my buddy who's a contractor in, like you're talking about with Trump. I'm sure. You're not going to tell me that
Obama was all
Obama
about doing things that didn't cause a divide. So like when he was being protested because of his mass deportation stuff, he goes, listen, I want to fix it, but I don't want to do it as an executive order, which is Trump's big deal. He does everything with executive order. He goes, I want to do it through Congress. I want to do it the right way. I want to do it with the will of the people, a permanent fix. That's how he addressed things. But Trump at every single turn, he has leveraged tariffs from his desk to coerce countries into making deals with him. God knows what kind of deals that he's made behind closed doors that have earned him that $400 million jet, or Trump Tower in Moscow, or Trump Tower in Azerbaijan, or whatever. He's made so much money.
Okay, but you don't think he's done anything good for the American economy with that either?
No, he's fucked up the American economy.
Nothing good has happened with
He has
that.
absolutely destroyed the American economy. He made 0 jobs last year, dude. 0. That's hard.
There's no. You said he brought 0 jobs to America. I don't think that's.
He made almost 0 net private jobs last year. It is so bad that he has distracted y'all with everything in the book to make you not pay attention to that.
Okay, but why is that? Is that because of AI? Is that because AI is like taking a lot of the jobs, so like it bounces it out to like 0?
No, because of his tariffs. Because tariffs choke businesses, especially small businesses.
Well, trust me, I know. I was affected by the tariffs too. I understand that. I thought it was shitty. I didn't like it at all. But I felt like if my president needs to do that, in order to gain a foothold in negotiations, then that's what he's got to do.
Again, he justified it with lies. He said, A, that foreign countries pay the tariffs. Complete lie. He said that,
I know that
these countries are ripping us off because we are buying more from them than they buy from us. In what fucking world would somebody buy more from us, the richest country in the world, where our dollar's worth more than theirs? How would that ever happen?
But I did think it made a lot of people start looking, or certain industries, I'm sure, started sourcing instead of sourcing from China, sourcing it from America, which I think that's a good thing.
It doesn't work.
I think we should all. It doesn't. I know, but
we looked at his first tariff policy back in 2018, and it was pretty light. But the aftermath of it, we have an analysis of it. It lost us 150,000 jobs. Multiply that by whatever the tariffs are or were last year. That's what it did. It fucked up the economy. He got rich as fuck.
Oh, and to answer your question, what have you guys done? I just remembered right now. What was the VP? Kamala's VP? What was his name?
Kamala Harris?
Yeah, what was her VP's name?
Walz?
Yeah, Walt. What's going on in Minnesota with Walt? What's that?
Walz runs one of the best states in the country. One of the best states for businesses.
The child tax fraud, or the child? Not child tax fraud. The child.
So
the daycare
somehow
fraud.
People have tried to tie that to Walz, but there's nothing. That pretty much died already. Like his proximity to fraud is nothing.
Compelling argument. I heard a very compelling argument. How did it go? How did they link the money to him?
He's prosecuting it, right?
Because look what had to happen. How do you not know that's going on in your country?
I think he's
Look
just
at California. I'm a
politicizing it.
Californian.
He's just politicizing
Gavin
it.
Newsom is the worst fucking governor ever, bro.
I think
He's
he's
the
one
worst
of the best.
politician. Really? You think Gavin Newsom is a good governor? How? Tell me how.
So Gavin
Did I live
Newsom,
in California?
Gavin Newsom is a very successful businessman, probably better than Trump. He just didn't inherit $40
Okay,
million.
he's just as crooked, brother. He's just as crooked, brother. He's just as crooked. He has illegals fucking working his fields, and that's what I have against illegals. I love Mexico. I go to Mexico all the time. I love Mexicans. I love the culture. I love everything about it. But I don't like when people come to our country and like I do contracting work. I believe that my work is worth a certain amount of money. And when they come over here and they flood the market and they bring the price down, I don't think that's right, because I learned a skill. I learned a valuable skill that now I'm going to be passed up on a job because.
So the tricky
because
part
so many
is
have-
mass deportation will also just make your wages go down. Did you know that?
No, I'm not
That's
aware
what
of
the
that.
economists say. So 63% of our economy will see wages decrease by 1.1%, and then nosedive even further. The bottom half, the lower skilled workers, they see them reduce by 0.5% after like a slight increase for 1 year. They nosedive after that as well. Everybody's wages go down because there's also a reduction in demand. So when somebody builds a house and it's somewhat cheaper, yes, a few people don't get these high wages you're espousing, but that also means that housing prices are down. So more people are able to buy a house and pay taxes and create a demand. These people, after they build a house, they go and they buy food.
The housing prices have gone up every year. The housing prices increase, and they've had all that cheap labor all this time. So I don't really buy that. I don't buy that.
It's not because of migrants. Migrants can't buy houses without a social security, right?
No, people can still buy houses without social. You don't have to be an American citizen to buy houses.
You have to get a loan.
Yeah, to get a loan, yeah. But
if they're buying with cash, they're effectively not poor. They're bringing wealth to our country.
Yeah, but a lot of them work under the table, and a lot of them are on benefits.
You can't get on benefits unless they're paid for by the state. And if you are an undocumented migrant, you pay the same exact state taxes that a documented migrant or a U.S. citizen does.
But they work under the table. They all get paid cash.
Yeah, I know. But when you take that cash and you go buy things and you pay sales tax and then you go pay property tax, it's paid for. All the taxes are paid.
What property tax do they pay? You're not buying property.
36% of Americans do not own a home.
Some of them don't even pay rent. Some of them don't. Some of them go to Tijuana every night and live cheap as fuck, and then come over here and make all the money. A lot of them do that.
That doesn't do anything bad to our economy.
Well, it's taking away jobs. It's saturating a market that
when they're here, they buy things, so that creates a demand in the collateral markets.
No, I don't think they're buying a whole lot, bro. I really don't. They might buy some groceries and stuff like that, but
our GDP is $1 trillion higher with them here.
I don't think
that's the Congressional Budget Office, and yes.
I don't know about that.
Congressional Budget Office says so. So does Penn Wharton.
We're talking about, I don't know. We're talking about day workers and the worker bees. 1 trillion. That's a pretty. I don't think.
How many of them are here on just day visas?
A lot.
It's still not like an answer. Like, is it 1%? Is it 10? Is it 50?
Like I said, I was talking from my own personal experience because I go to Mexico a lot. I know a lot of Mexicans, and I know like how many of them go on. They're not supposed to be working when they come up here on a day visa, but for some reason, every day at 4 a.m. that line in Tijuana goes all the way around the corner. It goes so long sometimes. Why does everyone need to come in at 4 a.m. on a day visa?
Again,
you're coming to work.
40% of the people here who are undocumented are here on overstayed work visas. So like here for a long time, here for a good time, like working, not hopping the border, because it's probably half the reason they're not renewing their visas is because they're not going and touching the border every 6 months or something. So I don't think it's the case that all of these people are just taking our money and running back over the border. And even if they do, economists say that's still good for us. Still good.
Okay, but there are the ones that come over here and not okay. They do come over, they do work most of the work, but they also at the same time they work. What I've seen a lot of my experience is they're going to work under the table. They're going to pay cash, so they're not going to pay all the taxes. They're not going to pay,
This is the other
Medical or anything
fallacy
like
that let me break that down for you. All right, you work construction, right? You've paid help before.
Yeah.
When you pull out money from your bank account, straight cash, how is it taxed?
Well,
At
that's
the
why you
full rate, right?
1091.
They fuck you hard when you pull out straight cash, right? From your
What do
business
you? I
bank
don't
account.
understand. No, I don't get taxed on the money I pull out from my ATM.
If you don't have a business bank account, maybe not. Do you not have a business bank account?
I do have a business bank account, but I don't get taxed for pulling my cash out of the ATM. You're supposed
When
to.
you pull that out, what is that filed under? You're talking to a bookkeeper of 10 years. What do they file that as?
Well, you're talking to someone who doesn't keep very good bookkeeping, but I know you're supposed to keep track of it, and you're supposed to like get QuickBooks or something, and like do all that in 1091 people and that blah blah blah. But
Yeah. So if a business owner takes money out of the ATM to pay somebody under the table, they are taxed full 30 to 35% on that, and those taxes are paid, whether you like them or paid or not. They're getting paid. They bend you over.
I'm trying to understand that. I'm getting taxed on the money that I make, but
when you pull that money out of your bank account, you have to file it under like personal income or like owner contributions or whatever. You have to pull that out, and it is a full. You're taxed as if it is a pure income.
No matter what. Yeah, if you are a business owner, no matter what, that's going to happen. But when you pay your employees with that money, they're going to get taxed on top of that too. So there's where the missed tax.
No. When you pay your employees W-2, you pay roughly like 11%. You share the tax liability. They pay another percent of that, right? Either way, they capture the full 30%.
I don't know. I'm still confused about that.
Last year, undocumented migrants paid $97 billion in taxes. Trump right now is jamming up the IRS to lift the veil on these taxpayers' information so we can go arrest them.
Okay, what about all the Somalians in your boy's state?
So Somalians, just about 100% of all of these Somalians you're talking about are U.S. citizens, man. Trump has somehow convinced y'all that they need to be unnaturalized, denaturalized.
They're natural citizens?
Yes.
All of them? Wait,
most
you said
of them.
100%?
200,000 to 300,000 are legally present. Y'all caught, what, 40 of them doing something bad?
No, it was a lot more than 40 of them. Did you see that? Did you see that documentary? What's that kid's name? That kid that does the reporting?
Nick Shirley.
It was ridiculous, bro. It was
that guy
ridiculous.
Is medically stupid.
I don't think so, dude. I don't think he's medically stupid, but
I know he is.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I think he's a pretty cool kid doing that. Him and his mom going out there and doing that. I think that's pretty brave and pretty cool.
Yeah, it's careless reporting, like horrible, careless reporting. Did you see where he went over to Ukraine? Like he went to Ukraine. Yeah, I know he's a child, and he went to Ukraine and he reported on all of this like nice area of Ukraine that's doing business as usual, nice cafes open. He's like, "Where's the war? Is this all fraud?"
I didn't see that.
He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of parts of Ukraine that are not war torn, but
does that mean that they're not in a war? No, that's the kind of reporting he does.
Does
He's dishonest.
Does it take away from the good that he did, shining the light on that, and then going to California and pulling the blankets off of Gavin Newsom. Bro, Gavin Newsom is a crook.
I thought you're okay with it because everybody does it.
No, I mean it is what it is, but I don't like Gavin Newsom because I mean I'm not okay with it that everyone does it. I just understand that everyone does it. I understand it's just a thing of politics. Like if we're gonna have politics around right now, the political system that we have in play right now, that's how it's gonna be.
I think Gavin Newsom just balanced the budget, and if we look at the history of what Republicans have done to the budget, you'd be way more pissed.
Bro. California. When's the last time you've been in California, bro?
Balance the budget.
When's the last time you've been in California?
2 years ago.
California is so fucked.
California is the richest country. It's the fourth biggest economy on Earth.
Yeah, it is. It is, but it's fucking disgusting. People are leaving.
So if Republicans come in, what would they do? They would reduce taxes. Republicans come in, gut taxes, probably gut the police tax dollars, gut all the tax dollars we use to feed people and make that explode. Got all the homeless shelters. Like they would just go in and fuck it up so much worse. All they know how to do is point at problems. They have no solutions for them.
Bro, I don't know where all this homeless housing is. I have a lot of friends who are homeless who live on the streets. And I don't. There's some homeless housing out there, but with the resources that the state has, they should be able to do a lot more.
So Republicans would do more or less with those resources, considering, I don't know, Trump. They would fuck it up.
I don't know if they would do more about the resources, but I think they would do something about the problem. I don't know.
They wouldn't do anything. They just cause outrage.
But look at the states with like the biggest homeless populations is the Democrat states. New York,
the biggest growing. Look at. Can you name one big Republican city?
I mean, Texas is a Republican state.
Yeah, but we have Democrat cities, right? Republicans want to offer nobody any amenities. They want to reduce everybody's tax liability. They certainly don't balance the budget. Every single Republican state in the union, besides Florida, is a net drain on our society. Newsom has to pay their bills too.
Well, Texas is a pretty much all Republican state, from what I understand.
No, I'm in Dallas. It's 60-40 Democrats here. And same thing with Houston, same thing with Austin. Everywhere where you see a lot of economic activity, it's because Democrats offer amenities.
That's not what I saw when the election. I watched the elections live.
What election?
From Texas, the presidential elections in Texas was all Republican. Looked like
there's 8 million liberals in Texas and 5 million Republicans.
I'm going to Google this real quick.
Texas is just gerrymandered to fuck.
Every Democrat I've met, and I'm not some super right wing, or I'm not super Republican. Like I don't like the system that's in play right now. I do not like it. It needs to be reformed. But every Dem I've met, my mom is a Democrat, and the way she talks about Trump, it's so disgusting. And like I had his roommate one time, she was a Democrat.
Man. Trump is a fascist. She should.
And when I had this roommate that she would just sit there all day and watch the news and just be so hateful and just spitting out just pure fucking hate all the time about Trump. And I was just like, God damn, dude, like that's not a good look, bro. Like it's like
because we see it in a different light. Like when you guys cast all of these same judgments on Newsom, we feel the same way. It's like unwarranted, it's silly. And if you were actually like lean left, you would see it in a totally different light.
No one in California likes Gavin Newsom. Nobody.
It's not true.
Nobody. I promise you it is, bro. I promise you.
I have Californians in my chat right now saying they love him.
Really? Well, you must not live in California, bro. I'm suspect. Because Gavin Newsom, no one has anything good to say about him. Especially after all the, and do they really know what's going on with him too? Like, have they seen all the fraud that's been going on with him? Like, he's just as crooked. He's not doing nothing for nobody.
They're just
I mean, yes,
highlighting the fraud, and like there's fraud in every state. In fact, like nobody even knows that Ron DeSantis has just got caught red-handed funneling $10 million of taxpayer money into one of his own entities. No one cares. We're not politicizing it. Nobody can hear it over the like flood the zone tactics that Trump is using when he comes out and says the most outrageous shit that you've ever heard in your life. Because everyone talks about that. They don't talk about anything else productive.
Oh no, I know. They should take that man's phone away from him. Don't let him tweet anything, because he puts his foot in his mouth.
Well, no,
Way too
that's
much.
why he does it. It's like, are you saying to silence your own party? That this is exactly the function of what he does.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think he just.
We just
just
fell
such
to
an easy-
69th in freedom of press. 69th place because of Trump.
Oh, I'm reading something about Gavin Newsom right now. So what this is saying about Gavin Newsom is exactly what you're saying is bad about everything that you were saying was good about the Democrats, how they pump money to help people and this and that. It's saying claims of fraud surrounding California Governor Gavin Newsom centers on allegations that his administration mishandled billions in public funds, specifically in pandemic-era unemployment and state health care programs. Critics have pointed to the state-level issues, while the Newsom administration defends its record by highlighting recoveries, crackdowns, successful prosecutions.
So they're cracking down on it. They just can't keep up.
Pandemic unemployment, hospice, and healthcare scams. I've heard about that. I think
Is that directly
really
Gavin Newsom though? Like we
sure
know
it is, bro.
that
That's
people.
sure it is, bro.
No. Like
You can tell me
Gavin
that
Newsom
Gavin
has
Newsom is
relinquished,
doing.
like he has 23 companies. He's relinquished all of the leadership roles. He has people running those companies for him right now. That is not the same for Trump. Trump is out here scamming y'all for $60 million or $600 million.
Trump is not running his businesses right now.
He absolutely
His sons are. I'm sure so is Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, Rick Scott, one of the biggest Medicare fraud cases in history.
How many companies did Gavin Newsom, you said?
I'm sorry?
How many did you say?
23.
How many companies? 23? You think that man gave up 23 of things that he built with his own hands? Just gave it up? Or he just like, yeah,
he's got it in a blind trust.
Tell you what to do.
He's got it in a blind trust.
Yes, and
it's much better than what Trump has done.
He's driving from the backseat, bro. He's driving from the backseat. That's all that means.
Again, if Gavin Newsom was like exploding the deficit and making himself rich, that'd be one thing, but he's just balanced the budget. Trump has exploded the deficit of the American economy.
Trump has been rich. $4 billion. I'm sure he has more than that. I'm sure he's lied about it. I'm sure he hid it because that's what billionaires do. They all do that.
Trump did a meme coin rug pull on his way into office.
No one in the world needs that kind of money for any fucking reason. There's no reason you need that kind of money, but they all do, and they all think they need more.
Yeah, I think that Trump is easily bought and paid for by big oil, and he has gutted American economy, the world economy, and fucked up people's health care, fucked up people's food stamps to make himself rich and his friends rich. You can't say that about Gavin. Gavin's like constantly trying to feed and house homeless people.
80,000 people losing their EBT. I think that is just cleaning up the junk.
No, it's 4.3 million.
Why'd you say 80,000 earlier?
That was his first tenure.
Oh, and how much is it now?
4.3 million.
4.3 billion. We're a country of 350 billion or billion?
Million.
350 billion. So that's not even 1%.
It's a lot of people, man.
Like I said, that could just be the junk, bro. That could just be the junk.
You can't substantiate that. Every single dollar we spend in SNAP is $1.70 in revenue. It's literally free money. It's like the infinite money glitch in a video game.
I don't think there's anything that's free money. I don't think that's right. I think that it's not free money. It's someone's covering that debt, and the money comes from somewhere. There's no such thing as free money.
Now, it
So
generates more
sure-
economic activity than it costs. It is a great
okay,
program, and it's
I
1%.
I'm not seeing anyone.
It's
not
1%
seeing
of
anyone here-
our budget.
Okay, but what you told me, the numbers that you told me, is only 1%, bro. 1%. I don't believe that's. I could believe that is just junk.
No,
That's
that's
just, you know,
1% of the
people getting
economy
funded
or
out.
the population. That's not 1% of SNAP beneficiaries.
That's 1% of the money. That's 1% of the total of. you said-
1.6.
or, yeah,
Dude, every year
wait.
you pay possibly the average American pays $36 in food stamps. That's how much they contribute. And you guys nonstop scrutinize it. Meanwhile, Trump has just fucked up the budget. Just really fucked it up. 25% of this nation's debt's Trump. 25% historically.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
We're in
25%
$37 trillion worth of debt. 25% of that
Okay.
37 trillion is Trump. How
Okay,
have
but-
more people not gotten, like, how are we not adding people to SNAP with that? He's removed them?
Okay, but I haven't seen anyone. I haven't seen any protests. I haven't seen anyone saying, "Oh, they're going hungry." I haven't seen anything like
The
that.
biggest
So
protest in U.S. history, twice under Trump, this administration.
about the food stamps.
No King's protest?
Yeah, but that's about the food stamps.
It's about everything he's doing, yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. Like I said, Trump arrangement syndrome. Syndrome.
I think that Trump devotion syndrome is the real syndrome guy.
Uh,
Looking at these numbers and going, nah, it's all the same, is wild.
No, I'm not. What you told me was 4.5 million, and after thinking about it, doing the math, what percentage of the population is on food stamps?
Oh, let's see. %12. 1 in 8.
12. So
40
that
million. So he's
is
reduced it by 10%.
12 times 36.
He's reduced 10% of people off of food stamps.
So
And
let's say
did
an
he
average
do
of
it in a way that
$200.
reduced fraud? No. He just basically he raised the threshold in which you are eligible for it, and he's lowered the amount you're eligible for. That doesn't reduce fraud.
So 40 million people getting about $200 a month.
4.
That is $8 billion.
Uh-huh.
And you said he slashed 4.5 million?
Mm-hmm. And it's about $400 a month.
Yeah, so that even proves my case even better. So that would be 16 billion. in
Yeah,
food
but that
stamps today.
creates 20-something billion dollars worth of economic activity. Like stores thrive
Okay,
when we do food
okay.
stamps.
But you're saying that he cut 4.5 million.
4.5 million people
16 billion.
off.
Oh, okay. 4.5 million people. Okay, that'd be about 10% of the food stamp then. That's a decent one. But I can still believe 10% is junk. I could still believe 10% is junk because there's rampant fraud going on in our country.
You'll always believe
Rampant.
10%. Again, this is a non-issue. This is so benign. That's like saying I don't want to plant 100 trees because 2 might die.
No, I believe that. Okay, so when he came into office, he's always talking about, I'm draining the swamp, blah blah blah. He brought Elon in on. And how do you feel about that? You hate Elon when he was part of Doge?
It cost us more money than it saved, and 14
I
million
don't
people
believe
will
that,
die
bro.
because
I
of it.
don't believe that. I
14
don't believe
million
that.
people will die by 2030 because of his cuts to aid.
How will they die from his cuts? Are they not going to receive their medicines? Well, it depends on how severe they are. If they were irresponsible and they let themselves get out of control, they might have to take more medicine than normal. But
No, I'm talking about the
I have friends
AIDS. People
Yeah,
are
and I
going to
have
die
friends who
from
have
AIDS.
if they don't okay, usually I have a friend who has AIDS and he just has to take one pill a day. That's all he takes. But I have another friend who has AIDS too, and that fool has to take like 8 pills because he let his shit go so bad without getting shit treated, and he has to take like 8 pills. So I mean,
Yeah, kids in Africa don't have a way to just magically go get 1 pill a day.
We're not talking about kids. I don't care. I mean, honestly, I don't really care about kids in Africa with all the shit that's going on in our country right now.
Trump is fucking them over too. Nobody's
wish
winning
everyone-
besides Trump. Nobody's winning.
Well, I mean, I just don't really think that we should bring Africa into this race at all. Like, because I'm worried about America. Once we worry about America and we get America good, then we can worry about other countries too.
So
I don't
what are we
see why
doing in
we put so much
Iran? What are we doing in Cuba? What are we doing in Venezuela? What are we doing in Greenland? Canada?
I don't
Panama?
agree with none of that shit. I don't even 100%. We went to Venezuela, bro, for the oil, bro. He said the same night after they did that mission, like, yeah, we got the oil. That was about oil.
Yeah, I know. For him and his friends to get rich.
Well, no, I think it was for America. I don't. How are they get? I mean, yeah, some people are going to make some money off of it because they have to enrich it here in America, but they have the facilities to enrich it. So of course they're going to be the ones to get money. I mean, if you
don't get any of that. We paid for it though.
No, I don't because I don't have an enrichment facility. If I made an enrichment facility, I guarantee you I would make money off of it.
Yeah, I know.
If I had an enrichment facility, I would
that
make money.
includes like all of like 12 people.
Yes, that's the problem with wealth right now. That's the problem with wealth. About
And
10%
Trump is making
like
it worse.
40%.
And Democrats make it better every time.
They don't, bro. You're telling me that Democrats aren't up to the same shit. You are not going to convince me of that, bro. You're not.
Democrats balance the budget every time they're in office. Republicans explode it.
Okay, I'm pretty sure. Besides that, the epidemic thing where Trump gave out a bunch of money, which I think was great for the economy. The economy, that was the best the economy's ever been, bro. I know so many people who elevated themselves. What?
Not because of Trump, though. Trump didn't do anything to make the economy good.
He signed the executive order to get all that money to the people.
No, that was the CARES Act. That was bipartisan.
Okay, maybe it was bipartisan, but wasn't he the one that rolled that out?
Yeah, and at the same time, years before, he gutted the federal government's money, and we had to print $5 trillion to do that and respond to it after he made us poor. Caused inflation.
What does Trump mean as poor? I understand that, yeah, I will agree with you that Biden got handed the shitty gig. It was right after that the fucking virus shit, and it wasn't a good gig. But the economy was super fucked up, and I don't know if he did anything to help it or anything like that. But I remember fucking
we
plywood,
had the best
bro.
recovery from COVID out of every country on earth because of Biden.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
It's
Spain. I think Spain did pretty damn good.
Better. In every metric, we were the envy of the world.
I don't think so.
The world thinks so.
Honestly, I think China probably handled it, quarantined it, and responded to it a lot better than we did, probably.
That's not proven in inflation. It's not proven in GDP. It's not proven in any way.
Well, I mean, they had a problem and they reacted to it, and they were able to build. How many hospitals did they build in just a matter of like a week or something like that?
Well, how many Republicans were working against us, telling y'all that quarantine was bad, that social distancing was stupid, and that this is a fascist takeover?
Those are stupid people. I don't think that was so much politicians. It's just like people in local communities.
It absolutely was politicians. It's very dangerous what the politicians did, and 15% more Republicans died from COVID than Democrats because of the words politicians said.
What did they say exactly?
That the COVID vaccine was bad, or that COVID was a hoax, and that masks don't work.
That was Republicans that was saying it? Yes. That was Republicans that was saying it? I remember it was the CDC guy. The CDC guy first, he said that the masks don't work. Then he said the masks do work. And
that's not true. That's
I
not
don't
true.
remember a Republican president saying that.
I have asked people a million times for a quote from Fauci or CDC saying that masks don't work. That's not true. What happened was Fauci said we need to allow the medical facilities to obtain masks, so don't go out and buy all the masks just yet. We need to make sure that doctors and
No, it
nurses
was
have them.
very, very distinctly him saying that the masks aren't proven to help anything, and then he went back on that like within a week. I remember that.
I'm gonna search this. I don't think that's true.
Look it up, bro.
Fauci's mistakes on masks was driven by bad economists, uncertain science. So it's just right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks. Is what Mehdi Hassan.
He said that it didn't prevent the passage or whatever. It didn't help do anything to help. But then, like within a week after that, he went back on that and said, no, it does prevent that.
So every single country on Earth agrees masks work. What we did have was a mask shortage. There's like nobody besides y'all looked at Fauci and was like, this guy is misinformation. This guy is trying to trick us and kill us. But we saw all the science behind it. So if you want to resolve this, you just look for the science.
You know, I thought just common sense that, you know, this is spread through that transmission. I just thought the mask has to do something. Like it has to do something. Like it just has to. Like if that's how it's spread, if it's spread through the, you know, breathing and moisture particles and stuff like that, like the particles can't come out of your mouth if you have a mask on. So I didn't buy into that. I thought the mask helped the entire time.
It says there was a lack of evidence that masks actually worked in reducing transmission of the virus back then, and then outside of hospital settings. And then officials thought that asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic transmission of the virus was rare. But then we found out that that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I was asymptomatic.
But I had people, my parents included, were taking ivermectin because of what politicians were saying. They were calling people, making fun of people who wore masks, called them diapers and stuff. And then I still have people coming into my comments saying, how many boosters did you get? Like thinking that they have any leg to stand on when it comes to the science. There's no science that backed anything that y'all said from the right. And no matter what I do, no matter what science I show anybody, from this point forward, they still won't believe that the COVID vaccine was safe and effective. The CDC just shot down a 25-26 study showing that it was safe and effective. They didn't want to publish it because they are lying.
Here's my personal problem with what they said about the mask, or the shot. When it first happened, they said that shots were 8 months away, minimum of a year away. Like it takes so long to like work out the medicine for it, and then they had this shit within a couple weeks. But just a couple weeks before that, they were saying they wouldn't be able to have it for like 8 months.
So they did was the FDA fast-tracked emergency authorization, because that's how that usually works. You have to find people to agree to do clinical studies and clinical trials.
There's no way that they could have known all the side effects of that because of that. There's no way they could have known.
Most side effects take place within 6 months of receiving a vaccine. So
yeah, that's
true.
Probably don't know all the side effects that take place from that in the long term. We still don't know.
We don't have anything. There's no evidence that this even stays in your system for longer than 2 weeks.
I'm just saying we don't have the data to back that.
It's the most studied vaccine on Earth now.
Yes, but still we just don't have. I mean, yeah, I'm sure they have a little data on it, but just they can't. It takes years to watch those things and do studies and stuff like that, like to really fully, completely understand it. That's just.
And now that we have that, the CDC doesn't want to publish it because it's a partisan hackery organization.
I mean, I know a lot of people got rich off. I know personally some people who got rich off those fucking vaccines.
Thank God. Thank God there's a monetary reason for us to create life-saving medicine.
Yeah, I mean that's capitalism for you.
Anyway, I've had you up for a good while. You mind if I get on my next guest?
Yeah. Go for it, buddy.
All right, man.
Take it easy, man.
Take it easy. Chat, tap the screen. If you guys want to support the stream, I do have pay apps. Actually, they're right here. These are my pay app details. If you guys are trying to kick somebody, it's $40. Or if you just want to buy me my next cup of coffee, I would love you forever. Also, don't forget to follow. This is my alt account. Don't forget to hit this little plus sign right here.
Hey, boss man.
What's up, man?
Oh, I wanted to say you have a lot more patience than I did after listening to that guy. But on a side note, regarding the tariffs, aren't tariffs supposed to basically benefit companies that are basically conducting operations in other countries to come back here stateside, so we can get more jobs?
In theory, yes, but there's a lot of stuff that we tariff that we are not even trying to like compete in those industries, and we haven't even tried, and we have no effective means of doing so. Like right now, all we've been able to maintain is like a 10% blanket tariff, and when we talk about, I don't know, plastic doodads, right? Like nobody is still going to be able to produce a piece of plastic in the United States cheaper than somebody in China. So somebody was still going to be paying past the tariffs to buy those products.
So we as a consumer would still suffer regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it just lowers the rate of trade. So like if I owned a t-shirt business and t-shirts went up by 10%, I have to reduce my inventory of t-shirts by 10%, and my sales will also bump. Like the sale point for the price point will be out of reach for a certain amount of customers. So then my sales will reduce by X%, and then I have to fire X amount of people.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. And then one more question. So I understand that that Democrats like to argue systemic racism.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is how is it that here in the 21st century that um, that I being African American do not have, or how basically how am I limited because of my skin color versus everyone else?
Okay, so first of all, with the Voting Rights Act being gutted like it was, one of my favorite points of data is that in 1964, before the VRA was passed, there were 72 officials across the United States, even as low as city council, that were black. 5 years after that, when the Voting Rights Act was passed, 1,500 black people held office. And that just kind of shows you how diluted the black vote can be without these laws. We've just gone back to that. Also, we can talk about there was a study done by Stanford, and police are 50% more likely to pull you over if you are black in the daytime versus the nighttime. They did a study with millions and millions of people. Same thing with resumes. You are 20% less likely to get a call back on a resume if you have an ethnic sounding name. Same thing with the judicial system. You have a 20% longer prison sentence if you are black compared to a white person with the same crime.
And that is due to racism, not just due to probable cause and the crimes they committed.
No, same exact crimes, same amount of crime, like same amount of like first time offenders, second time offenders. When we put it all 1 to 1, black people get a 20% higher sentence, and they're 50% more likely to be exonerated. So that means they're more likely to be wrongfully arrested and accused of crimes.
Uh, and that's just and this is a and to clarify, this is uh, well, I guess statistically speaking, um, we would be struggling more than a white guy or than any other race here in the United
You
States,
have
right?
more obstacles, yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, thank you for your time as always. Thank you so much.
Anytime, dude.
Yeah, you have a good one.
All right. Redlining still exists. Lower home appraisals. I need to brush up on my talking points too. I need some new talking points. I'm getting tired of them. So redlining persists today not through explicit legal maps, but through modern, subtler practices that disadvantage Black, Hispanic, and lower income communities. Continues via algorithmic discrimination, predatory lending, appraisal bias, digital redlining, where financial services and internet providers underserved specific neighborhoods. That makes sense. So, like, while they don't specifically say in the verbiage for like their plans that we want to not serve Black people, they'll just say, "Hey, this dollar amount in income is a neighborhood we're not going to serve," and those dollar amount, like those people in those income levels, are majority POC or minority groups. Blockbusting, steering. Appraisal bias. So homes in predominantly Black and Hispanic neighborhoods are frequently undervalued by appraisers compared to similar homes in white neighborhoods, hindering wealth accumulation. Predatory lending and disinvestment. Financial institutions may deny traditional loans to individuals in minority neighborhoods or target them with high-cost subprime loans. Reverse redlining, even when borrowers are qualified for better terms. Gentrification and displacement. Let me turn the phone lines back on, y'all. If y'all want to call, it's right here. UC Berkeley. How we doing today, chat? Thank you guys for hanging out with me on my alt account. Guys, I may or may not be having a non-alcoholic beer with Good Trouble next week. So stay tuned for that. That'll be fun. Oh, fuck, it is Friday. And I was formally invited to squish a watermelon with my legs. I don't know how possible that's going to be. Watermelon challenge? I don't know. The negative PR for that one might really hurt. Jennifer, you're welcome to share it in my Discord. Pre-due day started 36 hours under my belt for this week. Better practice in private first. We might give the watermelon a few hits with like a bat before I go into squeezing it. Recorded for science. Dude, I honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Like, maybe I just need to find a good girthy watermelon that looks like I can wrap my legs around it. I just don't know. I just don't know. I might try it for science. I don't know. I feel like I might have it. Back when I was skateboarding, dude, I would have easily just fucked up a watermelon. My legs used to be, I used to get made fun of because my legs were so muscular and I was so scrawny, my upper half. What's a microaggression? Genuinely curious. So, like, I guess saying something that might have like a slight racist undertone or demeaning undertone, but not quite. Like, you see a video of someone committing a crime, that person just so happens to be black. People in the comments will go, well, well, well. That's a microaggression. Not pronouncing Kamala's name, yeah. The phone line is on, y'all.
Hey, Puckles.
What's up, Priscilla? How are you?
Good. Can I make an announcement for Louisiana for voting?
Sure.
Okay, guys. So if you want to vote in the primaries for Louisiana, it's the last day is tomorrow, so it's Saturday. Find your parish. There's also the sign the petition to recall Jeff Landry's fuckery regarding redistricting and suspending the congressional district election. So if you want to sign the petition, go to the link tree in my bio. It's going to be a website. And if you reside in Louisiana, you do have to find a location, sign the petition in person, take your ID, take 2 forms of identification, a bill or an ID, and make sure that all the addresses match. We need 600,000 signatures, and so far I believe we have around 50,000 signatures. So that's basically it. Love you
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
Love you. Bye. Guys, we are looking for Trump supporters. If you want to debate and tell me why you like Trump, hop in the box or call the phone number on the screen. We are doing political debates, TikTok. We are doing friendly political debates. Sunshine, puppy dogs, ice cream rainbows, glitter, drag queens. Awesome, Jennifer. I'm going to use the restroom. BRB. That dude, that would be very much. I don't even know if that's a microaggression. And I hope you're saying that as an example, not as a genuine thought. Did I wash my hands? Guys, I did the Superman. Download the Superman. How's the new Scooter? Scooter comes in on the 22nd, 7 days. That's just aggression. Yeah. Yeah, we got a new scooter coming in. Prepare your selves. For sure, Zay. Yeah, this is my favorite chart right now. This is just so bad, y'all. What's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with Republicans? What is this? When this nosedives here, who got more stuff? Not Americans. Milk price is up over $1 in Michigan. Did you guys see the White House's dishonest post about how certain goods went down in price, but the majority of all goods went up in price? They just selected a few that went down. I didn't listen to it yet, Dolphin. Someone says that it takes 2 years to build manufacturing in America. My ironworker brothers and sisters are building like crazy. That would still show an influx in jobs, right? It's not happening. Have you seen a happy Democrat? Yeah. When was the last MAGA prayer? Oh. Guys, we do need a good MAGA prayer. I want everyone to bow their heads. All right. Bow your heads. Pull out your Jeffrey Epstein figurines. Dear Lord Jesus, thank you for blessing us with your son, Donald J. Trump. Thank you for the ability to allow your chosen one to come in and bankrupt our country and to cause 14 million women and children in Africa to die of a treatable virus. And for allow that virus to flourish, because I know you value all life. And that virus is going to come to our doorstep one day and bless us and my neighbors. And when it does happen, I want to thank you, Lord Jesus, for giving me the strength to create conspiracies surrounding life-saving medicine. And I just want to thank you for the ability for Trump to repaint that reflecting pool in front of the Washington Monument and make his $13 million. And please, Lord Trump, please give Congress the ability and the strength to vote for the $1 billion so that Trump can have his fancy ballroom and so that he can further pull more people off of food stamps, because he needs that ballroom for his protection. And please, Lord Jesus, thank you. I just want to say thank you for saving me from those dangerous criminal alien children who are here to try to steal my food and my groceries and take my jobs. And I just want to thank you for giving them the strength to work for the rest of their lives in a Venezuelan or El Salvadorian prison camp. I know that they're going to find you through the hardships and the torture. Amen. When I close my eyes, I feel like I see Don Jr. in all his glory. Taking bumpies, putting cocaine on his gums, and just seeing his soul invigorated and filled with the Lord. Amen, chat. Wow, goosebumps. You tell me that ain't the Lord speaking to you. That's right, y'all. That's right. Wow. God just glorifying us this beautiful day. Another question, Kamala's tax plan. Up on up. I feel like Hey Parker was a microaggression.
Wait, that was a microaggression?
I'm not Parker.
Oh, pickles.
I'm just kidding, dude. What's up?
I apologize. So I had a question regarding Kamala Harris's tax plan.
Yep.
So with Trump and with Kamala Harris's tax plan, when I was looking at that back when they were running for election, the biggest thing that she was trying to advocate for was taxing the rich, or I guess to be specific, taxing corporations that are over like 400,000, and then also trying to make it easier for first-time home buyers to purchase their home.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is how does that get paid for compared to Trump's tax plan when he was talking about cutting Social Security and other what was it, Social Security and something else?
No tax on tips and shit.
Yeah.
So Trump did this thing where he gave people those very temporary, very tiny things for like 2 years. Some of them were not what you thought. Like people still had under Social Security tax liability. They were just reduced. There was like a $6,000 tax credit, but you don't actually like get like money back if you don't exceed that. So this is in general, this is what the tax plan looked like. The yellow bars are Trump, the blue bars are Kamala, and the different classes of people, all the way up to 360,000, is a breaking point for both candidates. But Trump, his taxes were regressive. So the poorest people, 0 to 28,000, they have a 5% increase in tax liability under Trump. Same thing with everyone all the way to the $360,000 mark. But for Kamala, she was reducing taxes for all of those people in those brackets and increasing it for the fewest, the 1%. So 91% of Trump's tax cuts went to the rich. 91 of Kamala's tax credits went to the poor.
Okay, that makes sense. So then my problem, I guess not my problem. My question is, my next question is if she starts taxing the rich, aren't they going to just move to a different country where they don't have to pay taxes or
So
taxes?
yes and no. Like one of the biggest, most flourishing points of American history's tax policy was like 1950s, where it was very high. But more or less, what you're doing is taxing them at the point of income. So these companies would still have to be here, and the owners would simply not be able to pay themselves without being taxed as much. Um, there is going to be like some sort of slippage, I'm assuming, like with maybe some people leaving or something, but that creates a vacuum of like a market for someone else to come in and make money and be rich. So if Amazon all of a sudden left and they were no longer a United States company, which they already don't even pay taxes, Jeff Bezos, being a United States citizen, he would absolutely have to pay taxes on his income.
So he would still have to pay taxes regardless, even if he were to move, and Amazon as well, the company were to move to different countries.
I think that Amazon's already based out of like the Cayman Islands or something. Like they're already not really a contributor to tax dollars. But you won't find another, like Chupacabra said, there's not too many other countries that have below like a 20% tax rate for corporations. And a lot of what Kamala was doing was like closing some of the loopholes. So people like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, they take out loans on using their collateral or using their stocks as collateral. So like Elon can say, I have $1 trillion worth of stocks, give me a loan. And the bank gives him pretty much tax-free money. And then he just circle jerks with that money and doesn't have any tax liability. And those stocks may gain value, and he doesn't have to pay a penny for the gains those stocks have made. So he has more leverage to make even more loans tax free. She was going to tax, like, what is it called? Um, what are they called? Gains. So if just like anybody who owns a home right now, your home could go up in price or in value from 200,000 to 300,000. Your tax liability would increase, but you didn't actually gain that money, but you have to pay taxes on that. It's what she was going to do to people who have stocks.
Okay. So what happens if the value of said stock were to depreciate? Right? Yeah, I think that's the correct term.
Same thing as people with homes.
So it would just be less on taxing, pretty
Yeah,
much.
sure. Like I don't think you get a refund, but if you've made money in the stock market and there's like an infinite money glitch doing that, we need to do something about it.
Okay.
Unrealized gains. Thank you.
Definitely a big learning lesson. Okay, and then I also had, I guess, since I don't think you have any other guests right now,
Yeah.
I also had yet another question.
Mhm.
So, in regards to due process for immigrants, right, that enter this country illegally, um, isn't there due process like basically goes as far as immigration court in the executive branch, and that's it? Like, that's kind of it.
Kind of, sort of. If you're here for under 2 years, you're eligible for this thing called expedited removal. And I believe it's sometimes even without like a court hearing. I think a lot of liberals have a problem with that. But when it comes to Trump, I think he's just gone so much further. So, like, they just ordered him to bring back somebody like a Colombian lady that he deported to fucking Uganda. Like, what is a Colombian lady gonna know what to do in fucking Uganda? I think it's wild what he's doing. And 200 people that he sent to prison without any criminal hearing. They had no criminal background at all. They were sent to a prison for the rest of their lives in El Salvador. Like a prison camp that you don't get out of, period, until you die. There's no lawyer hearings, there's no recess, there's no family visits, there's nothing. You're just in there, handcuffed most of the time, sharing a small room with like 50 people. Your face has to face the floor at all times. Like, it's bad. And those are extreme human rights violations.
Okay, yeah, I did see a YouTube video about that El Salvador prison. Um, so my question is those those 200 that you mentioned that were sent over there, are they U.S. citizens, or are they just
No.
so? Well, are they citizens of El Salvador then?
A lot of them were Venezuelan.
So we sent. So just to get this straight, we sent people from from Venezuela to El Salvador
Mm-hmm.
to their prison and not their country of origin.
Right. Because there's a lot of countries, even Trump had his hand on this, but like if a country is deemed a place you can't be removed to, you're kind of like stuck in limbo. Like for Abreu Garcia, he had a like a removal order that said he cannot be removed back to El Salvador, or I think it was El Salvador. I can't remember, but he was deemed he had a credible threat to not be returned to his home country, and he was returned anyway. And that's the kind of like missing due process that was really fucked up. If you're here for over 2 years, you have more rights than somebody who hasn't. And under the Fifth Amendment, it applies to everybody. Like if Trump was, or if anybody can point at somebody, they can point at you or me and say, "I'm not a legal citizen. You have no due process." When do I get to prove I'm a legal citizen? Never. They can just send me to prison forever.
Not even if you go through the whole legal process to become an official citizen.
No, like I'm just saying, like if there's a group of people, or if there's a class of people that have deemed to not have due process, nobody has due process because we can just deem you to be that kind of person.
See, I was under the impression that everybody does have a right to due process. However, that due process is limited to those who enter this country illegally.
Say that again.
I was under the impression that even though everybody has due process, that the due process for those who enter this country illegally are limited.
Somewhat. There's still a process. Like it's not that like you don't get any due process. They just have a thing called expedited removal. And it's kind of like if we catch somebody on their way into the country, and kick them right back out, and that kind of extends all the way into the 2-year mark. But there's also the case that if you come in without due process or the illegal way, but you're an asylee, you have up to 1 year to claim asylum. That is completely 100% legal, and they can't kick you out until they adjudicate that claim.
And I assume we've been following that just fine, right? As long as they claim asylum.
I think Trump has, first of all, put countries on a list like Venezuela that gave people the free access to our country to claim temporary protective status. So, like, after he did a coup in Venezuela and then fucked up their economy by stopping oil trade, Venezuela was put on a list for temporary protective status. So, if you came to our border and said, "Hey, I'm Venezuelan," they go, "Oh, fuck, okay, come in." And do you have a temporary protected status? You can I think you get like a work permit in 6 months, all this other stuff. Trump has undone that process for people to the tune of like 500,000 people just to kind of bump his numbers up. Like, there's no reason we needed to undo. Like, Haitian migrants still have every claim in the world to not want to go back to Haiti because it's fucked up over there. Same thing with Venezuela. Same thing with a multitude of other countries. Trump has just weaponized the idea that these people are like invading.
Yeah, I will say I was under that impression. From after, I mean, after watching a bunch of YouTube videos and whatnot about his statements, um, he was saying that that immigrants were invading our country and were saying that and was saying that they were causing a lot of crime, and that 2025 the 2025 stats according to the FBI said this is severely dropped because of them being deported.
That's
I
totally
think that was just
untrue. I mean, you saw the crime stats that I showed you earlier. First of
yeah.
all, like the population of undocumented migrants in the United States comes out to like roughly 4% of our population. And FBI crime stats also show that even without the stats I showed you, an undocumented migrant is 1/3 less likely to commit a violent crime and 1/4 less likely to commit a property crime, or switch that. It's one of the two. Compared to U.S. citizens, like 1 for 1, not proportionally, like not per capita, but I mean like 1 for 1. If you're an undocumented migrant, you just think about the mindset. You're trying to lay low. You're not trying to break a crime and get stopped for speeding or whatever because you could get deported. So these people really do like kind of stay on their best behavior when they're here. So I just don't think. In fact, I think you might even have a case to say that crime rates go up when you deport these people because of how many of them are not criminal.
What would you mean? What would you mean? Hold on. Sorry. What do you mean by the crime rates go up? The crime rates go up because they're being deported.
All right. So
Right.
take a country and this half U.S. citizens, this half undocumented migrants. And the amount of people who create crime is this big for undocumented or for U.S. citizens, and the amount of people who commit crime for undocumented migrants is this big. And you even these two out, and you come up with like a per capita number, and you can say crimes are 5 per 100,000. But if you remove this entire sector of people, this is the only sector you have left. So the per capita would double. So like the entire picture is now just this. The amount of safe people that didn't have that orange box are now gone.
Huh.
You know?
Yeah, I guess so. As of now, yeah. Um, that's good. Okay. Um, wow, I'm over here being taken back to school. Okay. So, um, okay. Regarding the Alex Preddy situation, um, from the video that I watched, mind you, I did watch again. I did watch the video off of YouTube. Um, but the video I watched, it shows that he was reaching for where his firearm or where his holster was, um, and then law enforcement obviously discharged their firearms. But people were saying that that he was murdered because his deadly weapon was secured moments before he was moments before the incident. Yeah.
I have not seen a video like you're talking about, but I have seen multiple different angles of the ICE officers or the CBP officers taking the gun out of his holster, saying the word gun, which is against like training. You don't just scream that. There's something else you say when you pull a like suspect's weapon from them, that doesn't cause them to do that. But you can see the officer walking around a vehicle holding that gun and even ejecting the shell out of the ammunition out of the chamber. Um, then, while that person, Alex Preddy, was on his knees with his hands in the air, that's when he was shot 10 times. I don't think that's any law enforcement's training. Like, I don't think
Can you
any
show
sort
me?
of training for that. Can I show
Can
you
you
it?
yeah, can you just show me the exact video? Because I think we may have watched two different videos. Because obviously, if his hands were up and he had no weapon in his hands, then the lethal force will obviously not be justified.
All right, he's on his knees. He's right here on the right. His gun was already taken from him at this point.
I don't see his hand go up. s- Yeah, thank you.
There's the first officer holding his pew pew on the left. And that's just his phone. The officer's got his hand on the holster, I guess. Looks right here. His hands are on the ground, not in the air. There's a video of the cop walking with the guy's pew pew.
Well, no, I do know that the ICE officer did seize the firearm moments before Mr. Preddy was deceased. Um, that I do know.
Here,
However, would I would I would say that wouldn't the officer still have probable cause because they don't know if he has any additional weapons and he was reaching and they could argue that he was reaching for another weapon
um,
to counter.
I mean, I think the whole encounter is a failure. Like when he was addressing the cop, he had a phone in one hand and his left hand, his less dominant hand, out. And he's basically like, "Hey, dude, chill," while videotaping. At no point in time should an officer feel like that is a person that is about to be violent or hurt them. Like it was in a reaction to him shoving a woman onto the ice. And here's the worst part. We can talk about this all day with a few videos and litigate this, but the biggest damning part about it is Trump has covered this up. Trump is not letting us investigate this. That person is now deployed back in ICE. He is relocated somewhere else in the U.S. He's moved states. He has not seen any sort of like uh like counseling or anything like, hey, what do you think you can do to not do that again? Like none of that. He's been empowered to act that way again.
He wasn't put on administrative leave.
He's back in the force now. I mean, he might have had a few weeks off, but that doesn't do anything. And have they changed their standard procedures since? I don't think so. Like, if Trump were to come out and be like, "Hey, this is obvious sign of like people being undertrained. I think rhetoric has taken us a long way, and we're divided right now. Like, we should come together." Imagine what Obama would have said. Trump did the opposite. He took the very first instance, like immediately afterwards, to say, like, "Hey, this guy's a terrorist. He's looking to do maximum violence." Uh, but won't let us do any investigation.
And by us, you mean he didn't let the multi-agency for the state conduct that investigation?
Sure, I think that the state might be trying to do their best, but that like the Fed is not handing over any evidence. And it was weeks, months. Even if they start to hand it over, we get what now? Like something that's months old? Like the crime scene wasn't maintained. I don't think that they were able to do like a very good like forensic account of what happened after after the crime. I just think that it just goes to show like we are going to be divided on this until somebody comes into office who's responsible, who really does have the best interest in mind for the United States and for both parties to feel like the president is for them. I think the president is very partisan about this. And he's using ICE as a tool to fuck with cities that are blue cities, to jam them up. He's tried to get them like to give concessions like voting rolls and stuff to the federal government. I've never heard of something so egregiously wrong in United States history. Like that is wild.
Not to interrupt you, but voting rules? What do you mean by that?
He said to Minnesota, for instance, that one of the conditions for him to have ICE leave Minnesota was for Minnesota to release their voting rolls to the federal government so that they can look at them. They want like the list of registered voters.
Isn't that as far as I know, isn't that illegal to request for that? To request that data?
I don't know who's going to look into it. The DOJ, Trump's DOJ.
I wouldn't. Well, wouldn't it be Congress then that would be the individuals to try to take a look at that and can
Hey, maybe.
like
I mean, majority of Congress is Republican right now.
even Republican, you would think that they would have I guess, the common sense to um, conduct an investigation and try to, I guess for the sake of basically, what I'm trying to say is that basically you would think that they would have the common sense to conduct the investigation and into the DOJ and whatnot to see if they're corrupt or whatnot.
I think that anybody who steps out of line and questions Trump publicly is immediately challenged by a Trump-backed candidate. We just saw that happen in the last few special elections. People who spoke out, even Thomas Massey, his district is about to vote him out on tomorrow. The one person, the one Republican I can think of that's saying, hey, Trump is doing some fucked up shit.
Mm. God, it makes me.
Marjorie Taylor Greene gone after speaking out about how he took her into the Oval Office and basically tried to whip her into submission to take her name off of the Epstein subpoena or petition.
Oh yeah, I do remember she resigned. I do remember her hopping on Twitter and saying that she was resigning.
Yeah, she moved to Costa Rica.
Jesus. So I guess what I'm getting at, or I guess what I'm barely coming to the conclusion on, if this makes sense, is that the No Kings protest actually seems to have a little bit more weight than I thought.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming up and asking and being genuine.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm I'm very new to politics and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're welcome back anytime, all right?
Thank you. I'll let you get back to it.
All right. Chad, if you're trying to support this stream, these are my pay apps, and a little bit goes a long way. Um, as the economy sinks more and more into the pitfall that Trump's created, this it gets tighter and tighter here too. So anything that y'all can do, don't hurt yourselves to do it. But donations are much appreciated, y'all. Also, if you haven't followed, give me a follow. We do these debates all the time. Oh God, chat. Oh. I think I need to go back to even earlier mornings. Would anybody here watch earlier? Like 7 a.m. ish? I need to do more like early morning streams. Maybe nighttime. Maybe we'll try during the night. We've got 4 hours until we do our music stream. Work streams are dope, yeah. Central Standard. You're out as soon as Adam comes on. You're good. Adam, cry? Cray? Cry? Oh, gosh. Aren't you Central Daylight? You're in daylight savings right now. I'm always lost in regards to daylight savings. Hello, is this a Trump supporter? I'm sorry?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, are you a Trump supporter?
No, but I did want to ask you a question if you don't mind.
Sure.
What I'm kind of curious about, because I think that the Democrat Party is pretty split in an interesting way at the moment. I was just kind of curious, kind of where you stand at this point in terms of, let's say, if you're on more of the Zoran, side of things, or more on the centrist Democrat side of things.
I think that we could benefit a lot from more people like Zoran Mamdani.
Right on, man. That was the answer I was looking for. I was just kind of curious because it's very interesting time, and as we can see with New York right now, it's just unbelievable. And from at least I studied history, and when we look at taxation of the wealth, that's kind of the biting point that both sides are kind of shying away from. Unlike Zoran, and unlike I would say like FDR style Democrats. That's really all I wanted to ask. I stumble across your stream sometimes, and I was kind of curious. Out of curiosity, is most of your audience kind of on that same page as well? Do you think, or?
I would think so. Yeah, I think it'd be hard to find a Democrat that doesn't like Zoran Mamdani, but I think that we need to stop being centrist. I think we need to move the center far left or further
Absolutely.
left. Yeah,
absolutely. But the thing that I've kind of discovered, I talked to a lot of, where I live, there's a lot of rural Republicans, and the thing that, I think is so important is to start bridging that gap, because for the most part, interestingly enough, if you present the points, in a way in which they can understand, they agree more with Zoran than they even realize, and that's kind of the interesting part. Is both parties, at least a lot of people think that both parties are for the working class, but unfortunately things have gotten so corrupt. People that are elected are not for us. So, anyways, I appreciate you, man. I know you're wanting to talk to more Trump supporters, but I was just kind of curious to pick your brain just for a hot second on that topic specifically.
For sure. Yeah. W. Mamdani. And yeah, thanks for calling in, man.
Absolutely, man. Have a great day. Cheers.
Cheers. Dude, I would do unforgivable things to Mamdani. We need more. We need more of that man. He's just such a badass. It's like Spider-Man. It's like almost like Unreal. And he doesn't say like disgusting things to get people excited. He does good things. Thoughts on Taco Gate? What's Taco Gate? Monetize YouTube communists is wild. I'm not a communist. I think toothless, negative IQ right-wingers who think everything's communism besides making very rich people richer is sad. You're just a victim of propaganda. Talarica ordered a vegetarian taco. I will never forget. There's like a video. I want to find it. Lady says, this is one of my favorite. This is every MAGA. It's every MAGA.
Drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic. Still, any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
It's kind of getting communist when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink 1 or 2 beers.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to be a communist country.
Still, any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is...
That's MAGA right there, y'all. That's literally MAGA today. This was in the 80s. They still have the same like understanding of communism.
Well, folks, Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of Donald Trump's former...
Shh. Shut up. Shut up, Harry. With the baby in the front seat, dude. The goal of socialism is communism, Vladimir Lenin. Yeah, so I am not a socialist either. I'm a socialist Democrat. So it's like believing in capitalist system while having social safety nets, while doing capitalism. It's so funny. Like anything, like you don't think that the fire department's socialism, do you? But it is in fact, like same thing with the military, 100% socialist. They get free school, healthcare, living, food, almost for the rest of their life. Some of them pay no property taxes. We didn't slip and fall into communism yet, did we? Trump supporters, where you at? Is MAGA dead? Is the MAGA movement just fucking dead? Did you guys finally figure it out? Or are you just too embarrassed to tell us that you're MAGA? It's communism. Communism is just a dirty word they use for people that aren't like them. What was the point of the Xi Jinping Trump meeting? Well, Trump no longer has tariffs to terrorize China with. So now he's got to go there with all of his oligarchs. Be like, hey, these are my cards now. And Xi was probably just like, we got all those here too. Wow. In a March 1990 interview with Playboy magazine, Donald Trump made remarks about the Chinese government's actions following the 1989 pro-democracy demonstration in Tiananmen Square. He praised the government's response of slaughtering thousands of people. He said the Chinese government almost blew it, but then they were vicious, they were horrible, but they put it down with strength. That shows you the power of strength. He contrasted his perceived power with the United States' perceived weakness on the global stage at the time. Most people who've only lived in China are not even aware of the Tiananmen Square massacre. Yeah. And then he referred to the Tiananmen Square thing as a riot. Sound familiar? Woof. Thank you, YouTuber, for pointing that out. Thank you, FG Bubs. Trump is having a Christian nationalist rally this Sunday. Trump to join prayer gathering criticized for promoting Christian nationalism. Oh, God. What's that fucking lady's name? Nine-hour-long prayer festival. All right, chat. I'm going to take a break, and I'll probably be back in a little bit. I'm just going to use the restroom. I'm probably just going to eat and walk my dog, and I'll be back, and I'll do more debates, and then we'll do music. I will see you guys in a little bit, chat. I love you. Adios.